Wow.
We are live, everybody. Hello. This is seriously, we've been trying for 30 plus minutes to figure this out.
Absolutely.
So, well, I mean, just to start off, whoa, holy crap, there it goes. I was trying to, all of a sudden I stopped talking because like my headset is filled with my own voice because the stream started and it's like blasting. So I'm here with another YouTuber in the Arrowverse community, he's actually a good one because there's some that are like, what? Wait, what? You're watching the show for the ships? What? Like what? Eric's Reloaded. That's how you pronounce it. Eric.
Yes, it is. It is
Because
absolutely.
you say Eric when you do
Yeah.
your intros. I'm like, I got to make sure I get this right. Like he always says Eric though. Like
Yeah.
but oh my god! All right, here we go.
I'm just happy we got this working.
Like literally, I'm sitting here at like 7:25. Like, okay, send the link, and he's like, "It's not working." Okay, let's try Facebook. It ain't working. Let me try my other computer. I'm like, "Oh, you have another computer?" And then it's still there's one
Didn't
thing he
work.
had to remove. I'm posting it right now. Let's see. Here we go.
I think I sent the right one out. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. My word. So we had a crazy week this week.
Yeah.
In Arrowverse. First of all, we had a Canary episode, and then we had Godspeed, which is split the fan base with Godspeed because like he looks cool. The actor was like apparently a stunt double, or was someone who was wearing the Zoom outfit for the most part.
Yeah, it was just a stunt double.
Yeah, and they got BD Wong to do the voice, which is cool.
He was never on set, which is funny. I saw these articles coming out saying the person under the mask is BD Wong, and I'm like, no, he was the voice actor. He was talking to nobody. Like,
yeah, there was like all these Instagram accounts running saying BD Wong was cast as Godspeed. Like, no, he wasn't cast as Godspeed. I think what's going to happen is we're all assuming Godspeed's going to be in season 6, or at least he's going to pop up again. I'm guessing that there's going to be some sort of timeline shift where he appears sooner in the timeline.
Yeah.
And he's a different actor, just like how they did a new cicada with Nora, helping Barry, and it made a new cicada. So that's why Sherlock couldn't automatically figure it out.
I actually thought that was kind of like the whole cicada thing where it was like, it started out as the guy, the uncle, and then it went to the niece or whatever. I thought that might have been a tease to like what could happen with villains in the future, that we could get these different versions of these villains, and that would be perfect for Godspeed to just move into that category and do something like that.
They spent so much money on this suit. So it's like, you're going to spend that kind of money on a brand new suit.
Yeah.
In a one-off. And then it's like, the way we kind of end it with him in the storyline is Nora's like, well, he is caught and he's in custody. It's like, that's it? Like, we're not going to see anything else, because like the set photo that leaked was from the ending when he fell and crashed.
We had no idea. I thought that was going to be early in the episode. I'm like, that's the first battle they're going to have, right?
And I feel kind of bad because, like, after the fact, I didn't see them beforehand. Like, 2 images was released officially before his episode, and it was 2 images from White Rooms where he blends in, and it didn't look right.
No,
like,
not at all. And they had the CG in those photos too, which was weird. You very rarely do we see like promo photos with actual CG or VFX in them. Usually,
yeah, because like more likely if they have a photo that they're hiding something, they're not going to include the CG thing in it. It's like, like, for example, Avengers Endgame. There's clearly shots that they're not showing the like characters in the shot. They're removing them. I mean, Age of Ultron, they had trailers literally where Thor's like, is that the best you can do? And like the first trailer, there's like 4 characters in the shot. In the movie, there's like 8 or 9. So it looked kind of weird in the photos. I'm like, man, I'm glad it looked good on camera, because it just.
I think that my theory is that is because apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not. Again, you usually have to wait. I always I'm going to wait because I don't know how much of it's true, how much of it's fake. But with the Godspeed suit, apparently they were testing out a new way of making costumes it's much cheaper than the way they've been doing it. The materials and the way they put it together. I had a friend that worked in the costuming division in Vancouver who was like, wasn't the person that made the suits, but had connections to people that made the suits and sort of like helped out and stuff like that. And so he no longer works there anymore. So I couldn't get any information from this, but apparently the leather suits were extremely expensive to make because you had to make more than one. And leather's not cheap. So
like they made like what 3 of them or 4 of them at least because they
Yeah.
get damaged over time, and you know once it gets damaged, you have to replace it.
Yeah.
And keep filming like because there's a tight schedule, like what 9-10 days to shoot one episode. It's pretty hectic. I mean, when I shot my Star Wars fan film, it took us over 2 months, and I couldn't imagine shooting like because like roughly the length is shorter than one of their episodes. I can't imagine shooting all that in 9 days.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
a
the
lot.
funny thing was, I had seen some of your videos before. It's funny you mentioned the fan film thing. I'd seen some of your videos before. And you know, you have the reaction community. You have a lot of people within that community that do the reaction videos.
Yeah.
And so I found the video. I didn't even know it was you, the Gordon short film, because you look so different in it. And so I'm watching, I'm like, oh wow, this is really good. Like I was like, this is really well done. And then I'm like, he sounds really familiar. Who is this? And then I followed the trail back. It got back to you, and I was like, wait, that was on his. And I went back. I was like, okay, it all makes sense now, you know. But you put in some work for that. I mean, you were dedicated, and you did like the shaving and the whole outfit and everything. It seemed like a lot of work. So
well, the shaving, I mean, it scared people. I posted it on Twitter, like and Facebook, and I said a sacrifice had to be made. And this is like we were still teasing. Like we announced the title of the fan film the day before the film dropped. So like instead of us going like Darson Star Wars, it's like we're dropping a teaser trailer, a final trailer, and then at the end of the final trailer, kind of like Endgame or Star Wars, it's like the title pops in at the end. But yeah, I mean, the guy who played Joe Chill, aka Joker, I guess you could say, at the end there with that monologue, he wrote the thing in like a couple of days, 9 pages, and we just shot it in like 3 days.
That end was intense, man. The end of that thing was so intense. It was like
that monologue shifted because he wrote it a certain way, and then he changed it because there were some bits he forgot to include or we were adding in because that quick little flashback of the father being dead, it was actually Logan himself playing that character.
Okay.
That was not in the script. We had to add that in. So he had to add those parts into. So that monologue, the first time I heard it was him repeating it that night. And so my reactions were not as I wanted them to be. I'm just like standing there holding the gun because I'm like listening to it and I'm like, I don't know how to respond because I don't know at what point this comes in or this because the first time he's saying it is live here. He's just making it up as he goes.
Yeah.
And he did a really good job. I mean,
it was awesome, man. I really enjoyed it. So, but you know, maybe one day I'll get to be in one of your fan films. I'm close enough. Like it would be easy for me.
That'd be awesome. Or we can collab in some videos or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, the car he was pulling on, we were laughing so hard. He was pulling on my girlfriend's car and the way it was angled, it looks like he's like trying to have sex with the car. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, like you got to tone it down a little bit.
That's for the 9 or 10 o'clock audience, not the 7 and 8. So
yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. So I saw where you uploaded a video about there's I guess a theory because they cast oh god, what's his name? Ernie Hudson, is that his name?
Yeah, they cast him in the next episode of Arrow, and he's going to be playing a General Stewart. So there's a lot of theories running around about that, and whether or not we're going to get a nod to because you know Arrow, you've been watching it since day one. You know they throw in Green Lantern references throughout the entire series. So I'm wondering, is this the one where we're gonna like get it? Are we gonna go full throttle with this, or is this another tease again for Green Lantern? Because
I mean, it makes sense because they literally teased that in the crossover where like Barry Allen shows up. He's like, John, where's your ring? It's like, oh, and I freaked out. I'm like, ring? Like Green Lantern? And it's like, okay, are they teasing we're gonna get a Diggle Green Lantern in the crossover next year? But I mean, that makes sense. I didn't know his name was Stewart. I'm like, okay, okay, General Stewart.
Yeah, so and Ernie Hudson's great. I mean, I love Ernie Hudson anyway. I don't know what kind of like because they're being very low key on like what he's going to be doing. They said that he's just going to have a past with Diggle that's like I think they used like a stressful past or something like that between the two of them. And we've never seen him before, so we have no idea what the connection to this guy is. So
you bring in Ernie Hudson, who everybody knows. And they're being under wraps about it, and we've never seen him before. That kind of leads to thinking, is something going to happen to the character in the flashbacks that he comes back in later because of things, because he has to go to somewhere?
Man, and we know that season 8 being the final season, they can really do anything they want. I mean, they pretty much whatever they decide they want to do with these characters, they have free reign because it's going away, you know. So I would love to see Diggle put on the ring and fly around. I think that would be amazing.
Now, I have been hearing whispers. I don't know if you heard the same thing.
Okay.
The first whisper, I mean, obviously we heard the Tom Welling arrow that debunked because there's video footage of him saying,
Right.
it's canceled. There's a thing going on where apparently he's going to be in the crossover. I don't know. The other thing I heard is that DC is apparently going all out with this next crossover. I don't know what that means either, but I think that hints at characters from other Earths are going to be popping in for the first time in this crossover. And I think that sets up future shows like Batwoman because, I mean, look, Arrow's ending, and the fact that they had the video in the Godspeed episode where Barry's talking to Nora. Now, the timeline could change to where he doesn't die.
Right.
But they referenced Jay Garrick, Accelerated Man with the Purple Speedster comment, Kid Flash. I think we're going to lose some speedsters and like they're going to die. I feel like they're going to replace Barry.
I would love for them to actually commit to something like that. I mean, I don't want to see anybody go, obviously. You like so many of these characters, but in order for it to be bigger than the other ones, they have to commit to getting rid of somebody. Something has to happen. Someone has to go. I tell you, I don't even want to, like, I don't want to be the one picking. Like, I don't want to be the person sitting at the desk going, okay, we got like laying out the cards with everybody's face on it going, okay, so who are we getting rid of? Because that means they not only are leaving the show, but they lose their job basically. So it's like,
do you think they've already just because they're planning now how to shoot it because they're
right.
Because they already set it out. Have they already probably, I don't think the scripts are done, but do you think they've already planned out, like,
there was a Comic-Con, I want to say it was Middle East Comic Expo or something. It's one of those that happened like within the last week. And Danielle Panabaker made some comments about it. And she said that two things that stood out to me. Number one, she said it is going to be the biggest one they've ever done. She knows that much already. She also said that they haven't like written any of it yet. Like none of the episodes have been scripted out or anything like that. They're literally in the beginning stages of it. So, I mean, they aren't anywhere into it basically in terms of like figuring out who's going to go, who's going to stay. But I tell you what, I mean, we got Comic-Con right around the corner and we got that teaser for Elseworlds, right? When we're, right around that time. Yeah. So they have to have something like pen to paper, something going on between now and then. So
I think the upfronts, because the upfronts are in May for all the different networks, and that's when they announced Batwoman. But they didn't say Elseworlds, they didn't say Superman, they just said Batwoman. So I think they're going to bring out, if it's true, Tom Welling's going to walk out on stage at the CW upfronts. He's announcing his back as Superman. I mean, I think if they're in the early stages and not anything pen to paper, they're just kind of speculating, and all the showrunners are talking with everyone over there at the CW about how they're going to do it. I mean, they're probably already trying to get people casted or bringing people back into the mix so they know who they can and can't use. Because if they start writing scripts now and they're like, oh, well, this person can't do it contractually, I'm like, well, then we have to rewrite this whole thing.
Not only that, I would think, and I've tried to like figure out how they would do it, but for an event like this, it's all hands on deck, right? I mean, you literally have to have everybody there. I mean, contractually, there's going to be some people who can't show up. But I mean, we're thinking like at least Hawkgirl, Hawkman, those characters. We're talking like OGs would come back for something like this. Oh, yeah. So you could get rid of those characters. That would be the perfect opportunity for you to get rid of some of those characters who are, not on screen anymore. Would be to bring them back just for Crisis.
Are they going to bring in some villains to help fight alongside the heroes?
Oh, that would be so good.
Because think about it. If Anti-Monitor comes into the mix, which he's coming, then the villains can't do anything either if the worlds are all gone. Right. So I think they're going to bring in Reverse Flash. I have a feeling they're going to bring in, I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to think who's still alive at this point. Like, there's not many major villains that could come into the mix.
There's a rumor that Reverse Flash is going to end up like redeeming himself. Not redeeming, but sort of proving that he's not doing anything nefarious at the end of the season. I don't know how true that is. Again, it's rumors, but they're saying this is going to set up him helping with Crisis. But
well, I mean, I heard a rumor Tom Cavanaugh might not stick around much longer.
Right.
So, I mean, we're also hearing Cisco might not be sticking around either.
But you know what? I mean, the thing is that if anybody knows what Crisis is or what it does, Eobard would know because he's got the access to that information. You know what I mean? It may be at a different time, but he would at least know what it entails.
He would know how much it takes in order to stop said event.
Right.
Because he's already technically I don't know, lived through it, but he knows about it.
Which is, yeah, and I mean, actually, and if you think about it, he would have more information than anybody because the Legion of Superheroes and all those characters from Supergirl, they probably didn't experience the crisis, or they don't have that. Because I think Mon-El said that they lost a bunch of their history from that time period, so they probably wouldn't even know anything about it.
So I mean, a crisis level event probably, yeah, it did occur, but they're just not aware of it on that.
But Eobard would definitely know because he should have all that information. So
yeah, because I mean, he's in prison, chilling with access to talking on a comms with Nora, and he's like, oh, that building, yeah, it has these like wave things, and like what?
Why does he like? That was one of the things when I was watching the episode. I thought maybe Nora had somehow helped him get that equipment because I'm like, okay, maybe she brought it in. She ran in, she had all this equipment, she gave it to him, but it was already in there when she went to meet him. So I'm like, they just gave him access to the internet, everything in the world right there in his cell.
I guess it's like he's dying, whatever.
I mean, it's probably like what would you like to have more than anything? A Gideon. Put a Gideon in my cell. That's what I want more than anything. So
I thought it's interesting that they made it to where Gideon tells Nora that her dad's, the Flash, instead of Reverse Flash. Like instead of him going, he's like, because then when he talks to Barry, he's like, just think of it as a last, like a last dying wish for a man. It's like you're actually trying to help her, but I think there's something else in play here because you immediately figured out she's a speedster, and then you start piecing it all together. It's like Iris West didn't tell you everything. Yeah, it's true because you know nothing because she's not going to tell you anything.
Right. I think they did that to set up that scene that Gideon had with Barry talking to her. That's the only reason it happened that way, I think, if I had to guess.
Crimson Skies is what I noticed in that.
Oh, yeah. That was I think that's the original Crisis, right? I mean, that's what they were alluding to. Right?
I think so. And now it's going to be different because Nora moved it up, I think. So
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that message probably won't even be sent because it's a different time period.
How messed up is it that Nora is basically the person that brought Crisis early? I mean,
I think that might be setting up that she is going to sacrifice herself instead of her own dad.
Oh.
Because, I mean, she brought it on. Yeah, because it was brought up as like, well, if they kill Barry Allen, the Flash, like in the comics, then you're basically shutting down the show because a lot of people are not going to watch the show if Barry's off the show. Like, it's just, I don't know if it could work. I mean, it'll probably still get viewers, but saying the Flash, but we don't have the Flash.
Right.
We got, but the actor who plays Wally West doesn't even want to be on the show no more. Like he's out.
He's actually, I saw some pictures with him and Ezra Miller where they're doing a lot of modeling and stuff. And so it seems like he's completely invested in that now. Like the whole modeling and music thing.
And the rumor is Ezra Miller's out as the Flash in the movies anyway.
I know. I heard about that. I was like, wow, they're just like, they're dropping like the two people that have given up the titles are taking pictures together for like Vogue or something. It was really like bittersweet, I guess.
I'm like, yeah, he's hanging out with the wrong Barry, but okay. I mean, whatever.
So speaking of that, what did you think of that version of Barry Allen, the one from the films? Did you have an opinion either way with that one?
I thought he was okay. He definitely is not Grant, and I think Grant has made the role so special. And the problem is that film was butchered to begin with all the reshoots and changes and stuff. And I feel bad for Ezra because he was trying so hard to get the film made, and then they get to the point where the script's done, they got the duo directors, and then he's not happy with the script. I'm like, wait.
And they're on a ticking clock because I think they said he had till May, and then now it's over with. Now there's no way to get it done. So
Ray Fisher, same thing. Yeah. And the rumors for a little while ago was that both of them are out at the same time. Like they're both not going to return, and it's like Jason Momoa and freaking Gal Gadot. That's it.
Yeah, I think like Jason Momoa, Gal Gadot, and possibly Zachary Levi as Shazam. I think those three are probably guaranteed their own franchises. I just don't know what's going to happen with like the team up films anymore with all this going on. So
I mean, it's going to be really difficult to do a Justice League movie without Superman or Batman.
It is. You're absolutely right.
It would feel weird. It's like saying, oh, this is the Trinity, but we only have Wonder Woman.
Right. Like Canograph says that Ezra was a nice guy, but he was put behind from the beginning the way they used him. I agree because I think he had some of the heaviest reshoots in Justice League. I think they went back and redid almost every scene that he had, and they took out a bunch. Did you see the video footage of the scenes with him and Iris West and the car crash and all that.
Yeah.
Like they were going to do a big story with him in that film, and it just all got chopped up. And so,
and now there's even rumors because like they recently it was found out that I think it was Ray Porter who was cast as Darkseid in Zack Snyder's version, and then people are going back to like the Comic-Con trailer, and there's that Steppenwolf part where he says no protectors here, no Green Lanterns, no Kryptonian, this world will fall. People are saying the first line is Steppenwolf, the rest is Darkseid. I'm like, well, now we're getting really too convoluted. But in that little montage, we see Barry break through the glass. Like that shot, and they were using Zack Snyder shots.
Yeah,
and they're not going to have it in the movie.
You know, the thing is that regardless of what you think of Zack Snyder as like a writer or a filmmaker in general, his visuals are like the cream of the crop. Like I go back and I think of like movies from him because I'm not like one of these huge like a stan of Zack Snyder where everything he touches is gold. I don't feel that way, but there are certain movies by him that I really enjoyed. I think back to like The Watchmen. What a brilliant superhero movie. And I realize it's dark, it's dreary, it's gloomy, but I mean, what a great piece of work. And it's such a long film. And yeah, you feel like crap when you come out of it, but but my favorite Zack Snyder movie, honestly, and I think it's probably because it's a combination of him and Christopher Nolan, is obviously Man of Steel. The more I watch that movie, the more I love it. That's my favorite like DCEU film, I should say.
And people are like, it's like, it's a different Superman. Like, but it has to be, because if you just do the exact same thing they did with Superman Returns and Christopher Reeves, it's just copy and paste. So you have to humanize the character more. And the fact is, he's fighting Zod like day 1 or 2 of being Superman. Like,
this was right out the gate. He's not even really Superman yet.
Yeah.
At this point, so
it'd be different if he was Superman for a couple years and then all that happened. Okay, then he's not responsible.
They brought up the classic villain, first movie, bam, Zod's like,
and they bring in Zod to freaking Supergirl, and it's like not really Zod.
Yeah, that was a letdown. I was so angry about that. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, so the whole Flash thing is now I guess they're gonna have to recast that role and use somebody else. And my issue is, and this is on them, like I feel like this is on the people at Warner Brothers, the movie division, is you have characters who I feel like have sort of laid the groundwork for certain characters. Stephen Amell is Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Grant Gustin is Barry Allen, the Flash. Like it's gonna be really hard to retrain people's minds with the movie versions because you don't have years and years and years of history with those characters.
I mean, we saw the potential of what a movie Flash can be within Justice League and how the visuals can look so, like, honestly better because the visual budget, like the budget for the TV show is just not as where it was. I mean, they even went away from CG models of the character now to like just shooting the actor running really fast and adding the effects behind them. I mean, it looks kind of odd, but I mean, it looks more realistic because when it's a CG Barry, it's like,
that's my biggest complaint with the CG in the show. Like a lot of people complained about the Grodd versus King Shark episode because they thought that it looked like a video game cutscene, but it's a giant CGI gorilla and a giant half human shark. Like it's not going to look 100% real no matter what you do, To
me, it was one of the best like scenes in the whole season was seeing that fight go down. I'm like, it's 2 CG creatures. I don't care. This is freaking
right.
great.
I loved it, but my biggest complaint with CG, honestly, is when they try to take a human person and make it a CG thing, because then you get that unless they're wearing a mask. Like if it's a Zoom character or Godspeed or something like that, you don't see the human aspects of them. But with other characters, you see like the human elements, and it just sometimes you get that. What is it called? The Valley. What is it? Something like the stupid thing where it like looks too human but not quite human.
Oh, like where you look at it and you go, that's not real. Like,
right.
It's something with your perception. Like you look at something and you go, yeah, like some people had that issue when they watched Rogue One where they had that CG Tarkin come in.
Uncanny Valley, that's it. Someone said it in the chat. That's what it's called. Yeah.
It's like the CG in Tarkin. Like he pops up in Rogue One, and clearly it's not Tarkin because the actor's dead.
Yeah.
But it's like you look at it and you go, I see what they're doing. It's not real. But for me, I'm like, this is awesome. But it's obviously not him.
You know what? The thing is that, and people knock the Captain Marvel movie because of the fact that there's all those issues with people that have opinions about stuff. But the one thing I think that movie did that's no movie has done good yet is the Samuel L. Jackson de-aging CG. After the first like 5 minutes of it, you just forget that it's even CG. I mean, it looks so good.
It's flawless. And I think here's the thing. It cost them a lot of money to make it that good that some of the shots of Captain Marvel, you can, it could have been a little
yeah.
Like, especially when she has the mask on and the mohawk, which is a nice throwback. you can tell that bottom part of her face, clearly it's not Brie Larson.
It was like a copy paste CG face.
Yeah, and it bothered me, but that's why I think in Endgame they're going to change that because they have a lot more budget for that.
Right.
So
they spent so much money on Samuel L. Jackson, but money well spent because he was one of my favorite parts of that movie. I love that character.
And apparently, the actor who played Phil Coulson, Clark Gregg, like some of the shots were not CG. It was actually him with really good makeup, and they pulled it off. I'm like, yeah, I can see, but they didn't use him much though.
Well, yeah, the thing is that man has aged gracefully, so I would say it's probably easy to do that. I mean, just a little tightening around the eye, a little Botox here and there probably helped him out.
That man can never die. He keeps coming back.
This next season looks amazing. I cannot wait for the next season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Holy crap.
I punch myself in the face almost daily because I was watching that show live when it was first airing, and I stopped right before Hydra revealed themselves with Winter Soldier, and I missed how the show got so much better. I'm like, because I stopped. I'm like, I'm getting tired of this. Agent Ward, who cares? And when I went back, I had to binge 4 seasons. I'm like, okay, I gotta keep going because it's so good.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think the first season was rough because, and I say rough because I think they went in thinking, okay, we have to be like this type of show. We can only do this type of thing. And then I think when like the reins came off and they were able to just run free, it was like they're doing all kinds of great stuff. Some of the stuff they do, like I think seasons 4 and 5 to me are better than some of the movies because those seasons were so good. The whole thing with Ada and the virtual reality world and dealing with the Ghost Rider. Wow. Talk about, I was so worried back when they announced that. I kept thinking, oh man, this is, is this going to be really bad? Because it's Ghost Rider. How are they going to do this on a TV show? He is so OP in the comic books. He's such a cool character. How are they going to do it? After the first episode, I was just like, I was wrong.
That first transformation was so good. It's one of those jaw-dropping moments like, oh my God, this is on an ABC television budget.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the problem though. It costs a lot of money.
And I think they tried to move them into the death slot on like a Friday with Ghost Rider, and the ratings ended up going up for them, which is unheard of when you put a show on a Friday. So yeah, that was kind of cool.
Then they had Johnny Blaze, which makes me think: are they going to bring? Could they have a film hypothetically in Phase 4 where they have Johnny Blaze because he transferred the powers essentially? So could they do a Johnny Blaze movie before he transfers the powers over in the show? I mean, I think that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
because I feel like they need to redeem that character from what they did with Nick Cage. They were fine for
that second Ghost Rider movie. Oh, I don't know if you ever seen it or not, but it's
they tried. It just didn't work.
Oh gosh, yeah. Somebody's saying, what did they say? Billy the Kid says this is going to sound offensive, but for a split second, I thought I was in a certain universe when I saw Eric's Reloaded. Just a split second, though. I'm sorry. Yeah, over here I could talk about different stuff because I haven't actually updated my. I'm going to start doing reviews for the Marvel shows, especially the Disney Plus stuff.
Oh, I'm so excited. WandaVision.
Yeah, that sounds like a electronics company or something.
I think the reason why, because I don't think they've called her Scarlet Witch once in the movies.
No, I don't think so either.
So if they title it that way, it sounds weird. I guess.
I wonder if, because Kevin Feige and that whole group loves to pull our legs a lot. I wonder if WandaVision is a working title until we get to the end of Endgame, and then they're gonna call it something else, or it's gonna have a slightly different name.
Yeah, I'm guessing like Kevin Feige's hands were tied because he doesn't want to talk anything post Endgame until Endgame comes out.
Yeah, it's so sad they got to advertise Spider-Man because that's really the only thing that they've had to deal with.
And that's unfortunate because Sony made that decision. Sony's like, we're going to put out a sequel after Endgame, and we're going to put out a trailer, even though literally you're showing Peter Parker's dead in the Endgame trailer. But yeah, it's like, I feel bad. It's Kevin Feige, like right before Endgame comes out, he has to go out on that Disney big extravaganza thing for Disney Plus and go, yep, we got Loki, we got Scarlet Witch and Vision coming, we got Winter Soldier, and I feel bad because like he's like, I don't want to talk about this yet. But he has to because Bob Iger is like, I'm the High Lord King of Disney. You're doing it.
Yeah. I think they probably already assumed that most people would know Spider-Man's coming back out of everybody. Yeah. But still, it kind of sucks. I wish they would have been able to keep the mystery going a little bit longer because then everybody would have been jumping. I think Chadwick Boseman did an interview. I can't remember if it was Good Morning America, and they were asking him questions about Endgame. He goes, "I'm dead." they're like, what do you do in the movie? My character is dead. I'm dead. And they're like, but you're coming back, right? my character is dead. Like he's literally saying
they're trying every which way to get him to talk about.
Yeah,
I was shooting on set of Endgame.
yeah.
I'm dead.
It was great. It was great.
We know that Ryan Coogler is in pre-production of Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We know it's coming. So just wait till the movie. And
Black Panther is another $1 billion franchise for them. They're not getting rid of that character. I mean, that's pretty clear.
After the opening weekend of Endgame, he'll tweet out Monday morning, okay, guys, now I can talk about Black Panther 2.
Can you imagine what's going to come? Like, I'm just waiting for them to drop the load of films on us after Endgame is over with and like what we're going to get. Because we know Eternals is a thing. We already know that. We don't really know a lot of details about it. But we know Eternals is a thing.
For it.
Oh, yeah. So
I forget his name, but they of course, they have Angelina Jolie, supposedly playing Cersei. And they have two other people, but David Harbour, who was promoting Hellboy, was cast into Black Widow. And he's like, yeah, I'm really excited to join. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be talking about this. It's not official. And he's like, yeah, if it's in the trades, I'll talk about it.
These people love to get information. I feel like when you join up with the Marvel group, there's like so many NDAs for you and contractual things. And I mean, you probably don't even know what you can say and can't say. Like you probably have to talk to your lawyer every time you go on an interview. Okay, what can I not say? Okay, got it. Mental note on that one. You know,
lawyer.
Yeah, so.
They have the Disney lawyers. It's like when you go on a talk show. Like it's same like a Star Wars. You go on a talk show, you can't say anything.
Canada Graphs and Mark Ruffalo ignores every NDA. I'm not surprised. Mark Ruffalo's hilarious.
He's the same guy who was still live streaming on Instagram like the first 10-15 minutes of Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, I do remember that. That's funny.
Yeah, and then Tom Holland's the one but they used that to the advantage because he's like did that video on Instagram. He's like, hey guys, so I'm just sitting here and I just got sent the script for the next Spider-Man, and he holds up the logo Far From Home. But that was like a joke. Like they like let's use the spoil thing as a marketing tactic. I'm like,
they're good with that too, because a lot of people say, well, so and so spoiled this, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was for marketing, that they didn't really actually spoil it. But yeah, for the Mark Ruffalo thing, that was totally a mistake. I don't think that was like intentional at all.
No, because he was like freaking out because people were coming up and like, turn off your phone. He's like, it is turned off. It's like, no, it's not. It's live streaming right now, and apparently it actually helped the film because they got a lot of buzz. Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So, and then we got there was a couple of unexpected big hits. I mean, I think I was pretty confident that Captain Marvel was going to do good, but a lot of people thought it was going to bomb. I talked to several other people, like, of course, Paige, some of the other guys that I talked to, and everybody was pretty confident that the movie would make at least $800 to $900 million. Like everybody was thinking that. But it comes out, it breaks that $1 billion. It took a little bit longer to get it, but it got there. And then Aquaman was probably the one that everybody was not prepared for to break $1 billion. Like that was unexpectedly $1 billion baby.
Because the film came out around, I think, 3 or 4 other major film releases like Bumblebee, Mary Poppins Returns. So people thought
Spider-Verse was out around the time.
Yeah, so it's like Aquaman, I think, opened to 68 million, which is not good. But then it just keeps building because like everyone keeps talking about it, and it's like this is the highest grossing DC film, not including the DCU, but all of the films put out, higher than Dark Knight. I'm like, Aquaman is the okay, Aquaman. Then there's Aquaman 2 coming, but it's like 2022. I'm like, that's really far away though.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think it's probably there's I always think when I hear like these late dates for films or whatever, and Canada Graphs will probably know more than I would, but when these actors get booked and then they don't expect the movie to do a certain thing, it's like, okay, you're not tied down for X amount of time. So they go out and they pick up other roles. And if you think about it, after Aquaman, Jason Momoa is going to be in high demand now. I mean, he's going to be one of those guys, like, they're going to be looking to him.
I think he's in Dune.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's in Dune, though, apparently.
I'm in Dune. I got the email today. So.
Sweet.
But I mean, Jason,
there's so many characters, you get one dialogue. And that's
right. I'll be walking in the back of a scene, and it's going to be mostly CG. You'll see like this much of my face, and that's about it.
You're floating head.
Yeah. So there's unexpected because Jason Momoa has tried to break out before. Everybody kind of knew him from Game of Thrones because obviously he was a very big character in that first season. But his Conan reboot did not do well at all.
It bombed. I think it bombed.
Yeah, and I watched it and I thought he did okay, but yeah, the movie was not that good. But I didn't think it was horrible. I don't think it was worth bombing. I think it should have made its budget back, but I don't even think it made its budget back, which is crazy. But yeah, so Jason Momoa now with this $1 billion movie under his belt. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's probably living it up now. He's probably one of those guys. I predict he might be the next Rock after this, where he's literally just in everything.
I mean,
So,
The Rock's only in like 500 movies a year.
right. He's got a script. I'll do it.
Jason Momoa's in like an Apple TV streaming service show or something. It looks like Game of Thrones in a sense. I'm like, it's like post-apocalyptic. I'm like, I mean, you guys, you're wearing a bunch of fur like Jon Snow. I mean, kind of looks like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think it's the one. It's like it's a expensive show to make, and I think it's only like 6 episodes a season. If I can remember the name of it. God, what was the name of that show? Anyway, regardless, I know which one you're talking about, and it is a lot of on location filming.
Yeah,
and it's gotten pretty high critical praise, but it's 6 episodes. It comes out like once every 2 years. So yeah, he was on Stargate Atlantis, and that's where I actually first saw him. I know he was on Baywatch before that.
What?
Yeah, he was on Baywatch. He's got like a baby face, short hair. It's really weird. But Jason Momoa was on Stargate Atlantis as Dax, Ronan Dax. Yeah, that's what it was. And so he was one of my favorite characters. But he literally played this. He's played kind of the same character in every show that he's been in since then. I think Aquaman's the first time we saw him as someone other than just Jason Momoa, which I think was interesting. Frontier, that's the name of it. That's it.
He's gonna grow his beard back though. He shaved today for recycling or whatever.
Yeah,
Aquaman has to have a beard now. I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of. But the one thing I didn't understand, he got the suit where, like, that he just came out with the suit. It's like he gets.
That's a good question. I don't know.
That scene cut where he's putting it on underwater, he's trying to get it to fit, and I mean, he just walks.
It fit him perfectly. Imagine that. A perfect fit, you know.
The monster's like, hey, it fits perfectly. Like,
I can't even find pants to fit me, but he got the perfect suit in the ocean somewhere, so it works. It's great.
I cut out that 5-minute scene where he's trying to put it on. They're both just sitting there like, come on.
I don't know. I think some of the people in the theater would have paid big bucks to see that, to see him putting on a
deleted scene.
Yeah,
need to see it.
Apple TV should be $3 at launch. There's nowhere near enough content for an $18 launch. Ooh.
I mean, Disney Plus is launching $6.99.
I'm gonna do the year, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and pay the year.
70 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You're getting Mandalorian episode 1 day 1. Okay.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
What's all this controversy about the guy that was crying on the trailer reaction or whatever? Did you see that? Eric Butts, I think was his name.
Weird name, but he is blown up. So like, it started off with, I guess, him uploading the reaction. And I think he's like the only one that I've seen who's like cried watching the trailer, which is like, okay, fine. Like, if you're that hyped up, I was like trying to hold my breath after Palpatine laughed. I'm like, oh, okay. So then people started like posting the video on Twitter and saying cringe and this is pathetic. And there's this one guy, and all these celebrities are responding to this one guy saying, I'm cringing to death, or I'm going to cringe to death. And like, he blew up. He went from like 800, 900 followers to like over 12,000 last time I checked. He's blown up, and Luke Skywalker himself had tweeted at him. It's like, this guy's life has changed because some people were tweeting out how pathetic he was, and everyone's like embracing him now. And it's like,
there was some tweet from some like a female blogger or something where she was like, this is the typical undateable man or whatever. And he's like, he's married, he's got a wife. Like, are you kidding me?
I think she's like a troll, or she just likes to give controversial opinions. Like, I went to her account and I saw where I had blocked her. I'm like, oh, okay, I must have came across her before.
So Night of Victory says that we should put on the in-game white team suit when we live stream. I don't have it here, but I have the Tony Stark gray and black one.
They had it. They're selling that jacket now.
I got it a Hot Topic because I was like, I'm gonna wear it to Endgame, but then it got super hot. Like it's like 80 degrees right now. I'm like, well, I guess I won't be wearing that unless I want to sweat in it or something.
Well, let's jump into weather talk. I swear to God, I woke up yesterday morning. It was 40 degrees. It was 70 when I got in the car after work. I'm like, can you make up your mind?
It was the same way here because we're in a very similar area. So it was like it was crazy. Like, I was looking at the weather for the weekend. I'm like, okay, 70, 70, 40, 70. I'm like, what is this? Like,
I'm hating this. Like, it's sporadic. It's like, okay,
is Killer Frost around here somewhere? I mean, is that what's going on? It's just, I don't know.
I brought this to my girlfriend. I'm like, that the Christ on Earth X crossover where Zari, who's barely been on the show, pops up, and then Killer Frost, Zari, and I forget who else was riding on her ice thing up.
That was epic.
I'm like, but why is Zari there? No one knows who she is. Like she's been on the show for like 4 episodes or whatever, and that she's just riding up.
The thing about it is, Zari is. This is what frustrates me. Don't get me on a Legends rant, please. Don't get me on a Legends rant. But I will say this though. Hashtag DC Beard Bros. That's actually a cool hashtag. Zari is actually really powerful. Like she's one of the most powerful members on the team, and she just doesn't do anything. I mean, it's like it's so
because they don't have the budget to pay for it.
I know.
I haven't seen one bit of season 4, but like I had the live.
You're not missing anything.
Well, yeah. So I have the Charter Spectrum live stream or streaming app or whatever. So I have CW open, and I'm waiting for Arrow to start because they're an hour behind now. And Legends is playing, and they're playing that Bollywood episode that aired. And I'm like watching it, and I'm like, I don't know what is going on here. And then Constantine shows up, and I unmute for a second. I listen to Constantine. He's doing something to whatever his name is. Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening here.
Yeah,
I mean, he's doing some magical stuff, but it doesn't make me want to watch the show. Unfortunately,
it's not great. It's. I'm so frustrated with the season. We could spend 2 hours talking about that for sure. But you'll see because you're going to binge it right after the whole season comes out. You're going to watch
when it gets on Netflix. I'm planning on attempting to.
I want to see you react to it. I want to see you react to the episode.
I'm scared. I'm so scared because I'm like, once I heard Swamp Thing, and there's like a thing where they're at a Camp Crystal Lake situation.
Yeah,
camp counselors, and then I see Constantine in a picture as a camp counselor. I'm like, no.
It's that episode. There's 2 or 3 episodes that are bait and switch episodes where you go into it thinking something and then it's like completely not that. And that was one of those episodes.
Do you think that the problem is they fully embrace, not trying to dig too deep into this, like to start a whole rant thing, but is it?
No, we can talk about it.
Well, I mean, is it like they dug too deep into just like the time travel and the like just doing whatever they can to make it weird? Because like, why would they do a Bollywood episode? Why would they do it a camp counselor situation with Swamp Thing? It's like,
you know what I hope they're doing? And this is me wishing the best for the series, for the season, right? I'm hoping that they're just saving a lot of budget on these episodes. So the last like 2 or 3, maybe 4 episodes of the season, they spend a lot of money and we see a lot of magic and a lot of dragons and stuff like that, because that was kind of what was teased to us at the end of last season when Constantine comes in with a big dragon head and you're like, oh, this is going to be cool. Nothing like that this season. Nothing at all.
Because like that's the whole premise of the season was,
magic and
magic.
Stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I remember season 1 where they spent so much money on Giant Adam versus that robot from the future or whatever. And
that was a cool scene though. That was so cool though.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
But then it's like but then the season 3 finale at least was solid, except I gotta tell you, a giant Bebo,
I was kind of lukewarm on that because I gave Bebo a hard time in the first episode where he was in like the Viking thing, the mid-season finale, I think. I didn't really like it then. I started to like the whole Bebo thing as we went on because it was a funny, like, almost like an Easter egg within the Arrowverse, kind of sort of with Bebo. But that last episode, I had been criticizing Bebo for so long, but then I just laughed so hard at the end of that episode that I just completely forgot what the hell.
They're fighting this demon who's been teased the entire season. We finally see him. He gets defeated by Bebo.
It was a letdown for sure. Absolutely, it was a cop out. You had a speedster. You had a speedster on the team at that point.
They were teasing like Wally West officially is a series regular going forward when he joins up, and then he leaves immediately.
Yep.
I mean, come on! You brought in all these other characters. You referenced the Mascara again. You bring back Firestorm. He's not Firestorm, but you bring him back into the mix. You bring all these different characters. You got Jonah Hex there, and then you end it with Giant Bebo.
Right.
Okay.
It was almost like they just ran out of like they had no ideas left at that point, and they were like, we just need to do something to end the season, and so that was what they ended up going with.
My biggest problem is that they don't wear their outfits hardly ever. Like seeing Sarah in her outfit in the Arrow episode this week was awesome, but it's because she was in her actual suit,
right? Because she was on a real show, basically.
A
this
real
week.
superhero show
Right.
that takes it seriously.
Canada Graphs, if you're still in here, he could probably like confirm that. Maybe he can confirm this. Supposedly, what makes Legends so expensive is two things: not the VFX, but the on-site filming, because they do a lot of filming outside of the studio, and they have to go out like in the woods and all these other places to film. That's really expensive because you have to supply catering and all that. The second thing is their costuming. They have to make new costumes or have to buy new costumes every single week because they're doing all these period pieces, which is why sometimes they'll recycle like a cowboy episode because they already have the cowboy costume. So they'll do a cowboy episode because they can just use those costumes again because it's cheaper. But they have to make new suits all the time for all the entire cast. And that's like,
I never even thought of that till just now. That makes so much sense why the show is just so out there, because they constantly have to just keep doing new stuff. They can't just wear normal clothes in 1920.
But they have suits. They could like put them in their super suits. Like, why are they running around? Like, my question is, if you got a time machine, you should never be rushing to anything.
Yeah.
There should never be stress for that, but it seems like that's a thing with them. The other thing is that
that would definitely cost more on location.
Yeah, definitely. Because you got to supply you have to supply porta potties, you have to supply food, you have to supply like if it's warm outside, you have to give them fans or AC or something.
Is that why the budget for Arrow early on was not as much as it could have been, because they had to shoot a lot of outside stuff for Leanne Yu? I'm guessing.
The Leanne Yu stuff would definitely be more expensive. But anything they can do on a sound stage is cheap. So you can always tell when it's like a money-saving episode when 90% of it takes place like in a bunker or inside a building or something like that, because they're not spending money on blocking off the roads or traveling to the hills somewhere or something like that. So
and I'm fine with
kind of why
mostly bunker episodes, because like at least give us some interesting dialogue to go with it, because you're not really moving around.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely say that, because like going back to early seasons of Arrow, like where they're most on Leanne Yu for the flashbacks, it's like, yeah, but they still made it work in terms of like they're just going into an abandoned warehouse again, but it's okay because Oliver's going to kick ass and it's going to be
right.
Fun. So
yeah, the one thing Arrow has over the other shows, all of them, with the exception of Batwoman, because I'm assuming Batwoman is going to be very similar to Arrow in terms of like how they do their fight scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but Arrow, as long as you give them good stunt choreography or good fight scenes, that's all I need from an episode of Arrow when it comes to give me good dialogue, give me some good fight scenes, and I'm good. Whereas with like Flash or anything else, everything is VFX unless they do like a talking scene or something like that, So
I thought it was really cool how they had the in the season 2 finale where Zoom versus Barry, where they actually fought, and there was some slowdown moments and they were actually just punching each other, but it was super fast speed punches, but like you could see it happening. And like they mixed it in with, of course, them running around. That was a good mixture to where we can actually like Christ on Earth X, when they finally showed, because they kept showing Barry and Reverse Flash running around, but they never stopped and showed it. But when they did that final fight, it was awesome.
Yeah,
everyone's fighting. It's like, ooh, and then we go to see Barry and Flash. It's like, okay, this is cool.
I think my favorite crossover out of all of them was Crisis on Earth X. That was my favorite one. I think that almost every bit of that I enjoyed. There was very few parts I didn't, and I have to admit, I'm just going to admit this straight up, and I think I did it in my review. I was actually tearing up when Stein got shot in that episode, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this? Oh God, this is really happening.
Yeah.
Like it was freaking me out. And I actually started getting short of breath and I'm like, no. But then I knew at that point that Victor Garber was going to be leaving to go to Broadway because he'd been talking about it. But I didn't think they were going to kill the character off. I was like, he'll just like leave for a little while or something.
Yeah.
They got rid of him. I was like, oh God.
They committed. They actually committed, and they gave a moment in the episode to kind of talk about it and saying for the professor, all this stuff. It's really good. So I'm saying, like, when you were saying about they have to commit to like getting rid of characters.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I think they're going to get rid of a couple. Like I think Tyler Haggett Superman out. I think he's done, unless that rumored of him getting his own show, which I don't believe is true.
No. I would be hard pressed to believe that they would give Superman a show while Supergirl's still in the air. I just don't. That'd be like giving Kid Flash a show or giving.
Well, the rumor was that her show was going to end,
right?
Like when Crisis, like how Arrow's ending with Crisis. So if that was the case, where
could you imagine if they announced Supergirl ending after next season? That would be like
game changing.
Yeah, it would be for sure.
Because I mean, it's like, we only get a limited time, like, because they already teased Supergirl and Batwoman hanging out, and it's like, then you're gonna end her show. I'm in.
People are saying Godspeed was wasted. I'm hearing that a lot. The Godspeed was
Mhm.
wasted in this episode.
I think it's all set up, and I think what you were saying earlier about how Nora changed the timeline of when Crisis happens. I think the same thing happened to Godspeed. He's going to be in season 6. It's not going to be the actor we saw who's a stunt double for the show wearing the suits and like Zoom and all that. Nora's going to do something. Because Cicada's like the niece, the new Cicada 2.0 as they call her, like her being there is not good for the timeline.
Not at all.
She's not supposed to be there. So
No.
that and plus Nora, because she's gonna definitely come back. Like she's not gonna stay in 2040.
Can we talk about just how ridiculously overpowered she is? I mean, she is so powerful. Like when she came in and made that appearance in the first episode that she was in, I'm like, how are they gonna beat her based on this?
They were
like,
all standing in a line in the main room, and she
and like how do they do that?
Barry was just running around her, right?
Yeah.
Why? Like I said this in the reaction. Why did Barry not just stop and just punch her in the back of the head?
Yeah.
I mean, that would have done something.
My complaint about Barry this season is they're not using Barry. Barry's like a secondary character in his own show right now. And
they're giving the more focus to Nora because she's the daughter, and because they were all teasing us all the time. Okay, well, eventually we'll get to Nora's story because she's writing in the book.
Right.
Then they finally explain it. Okay, I understand, but it's like still, she should have said up front, "Hey, the guy who killed my grandma, yeah, he's been helping me." But no, she doesn't say anything. That's a problem.
See, how do you feel about, and maybe I don't know if you discussed this before in one of your live streams or whatever, but about the way Barry handled the reveal of Nora working with Eobard? How do you feel? Do you feel like are you more like Iris's? Yeah, are you more like on Iris's side, or are you more like on Barry? Because I can see both sides, but I do have one that I think I would more agree with. Like,
I think
Barry's initial reaction was okay. I didn't have a problem with that. Yeah,
because in episode 7, if you ask me after watching just episode 17 before we got back and saw Godspeed, I would say it's justified. But I still say it's justified after watching 18. But when she is openly talking about this and just saying this is what happened, Godspeed killed my best friend, and like she named him too. Weird. And then she goes to Eobard Thawne in her darkest hour because she can't talk to her mom. I think Barry should have been more understanding, but once he sent everybody out of the room, he already made this decision. He's going to send.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Here's the thing: is that this past week's episode, the one thing it did for me that actually I'm glad they did was they made they made us understand, like you said, why Nora made the decision to go to Eobard and talk to him. Because a lot of bad decisions that people make are with good intentions. And so she went to him because she wanted to understand not only how to use her powers, because she didn't know who to turn to. She also was angry about what happened to her friend. And so she was, for lack of a better word, she was desperate at that point. So I think that was what we're looking at here. So all of that I get. I think the problem comes into play whereas she was so naive that Eobard was able to manipulate her. I think that's why Barry was so upset, was because he wasn't mad that he thinks Nora was doing something maliciously, but I understand when he says, I can't trust you because I don't know, she's lied about other stuff. So it's like, if you've lied about other stuff, then I personally don't know where we go from here.
I mean, there was a theory at one point that she's not even Nora.
Right.
Like before we found out Reverse Flash is working with her, they're working together. That is she Reverse Flash with that technology that he's used before. But it's like, okay, but the thing is too, Barry brought up a good point too when he was about to send her back. He said, like, I understand you going to him to help you, but then you kept going back when that wasn't your only option anymore.
And he made a point of saying that. How many times did you go back to speak to him?
Yeah.
Like 4 or 5 times. And he's like, why? Why did you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Because after we found out that she's going to him, even though she could have just said to Barry, like, this is what's happening. She just went back to Eobard. Even after she was told, hey, he killed your grandma.
And the whole timeline is malleable thing is like she's feeding him information. He's actively asking her to do things. Now, I think that she was doing them all under the impression that what she was doing would, number one, stop Cicada, which I think that's what she thought she was doing, and number two, possibly save her father at the same time.
And what she did was actually bring Cicada 2.0 into the mix.
Right. And so she did that with good intentions, which is why Cecile was like, I didn't feel any like, I don't feel like she was doing anything purposely misleading. Like, she was doing it because she thought it was the right thing. But if you got someone who's easily manipulated, that's literally the same thing as having like someone on your team trying to stab you in your back, because she doesn't know any better. And I think we're going to find out by the end of the season whether or not she learns her lesson with that, because that's really the only direction to go at this point.
And then Cisco brought up a good point that how like Thawne lies is like a master at lying. He's figured out how to like, so Cecile didn't notice anything about Nora until that moment.
Right.
So I guess she's really good at hiding things, or Cecile never caught on to it, which you think she would have, because she catches on to everything. Like, she can hear in the next room the baby needs something, so she immediately goes and helps with the baby.
Right.
But you're around Nora all this time, and you don't notice one little itty bitty thing about she's hiding something or.
One of the things I do on my channel is I normally call everything out like that. And usually my rule of thumb with that is, if the show doesn't try to make an excuse for it, like if they don't give us a line of dialogue or something like that, then I'll go, okay, definitely continuity problem, plot hole issue or whatever. They tried to explain it away. I'm not saying their explanation was right. I'm saying that they made an effort to do it. So that I think they did recognize that they dropped the ball on that. And, so they had to come up with a way to explain it. My question, though, but the bigger question I have is, outside of Cecile's ability, is Iris, all the way up until maybe last season, when they put her like in charge of the team while Barry was gone, she's been very intuitive as a reporter, as an investigative reporter. That's something that she's known for in the comics. That's something she should be known for. That's literally what she wants to do for a living, is to be a reporter, to be an investigative reporter. For her not to pick up on anything Nora was doing all this time, I mean, I just feel like.
And then her weird. Going around saying, well, why didn't you say anything sooner, Sherlock? It's like, because you earlier in the season when Nora was hurt, he was asking her questions. Then you pull him aside like, hey, stop. Do not go down that road. Do not talk to my daughter. It's like, because she has a blind eye for her daughter.
Right.
And she's trying her best, because, I mean, this is the same girl that literally revealed to her, like in the flash forwards this episode, but also told her earlier in the season, hey, you put a dampener in me, preventing my powers from getting out until Godspeed. But it's like, she's trying her best to protect her daughter and to try to make sure everything's okay. So she's stopping Sherlock. But then as soon as he drops the bombshell and she admits it, you're like, well, why didn't you tell us sooner? Well, he would have, if you would have let him actually work.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I brought up in my video, is I said, if she would have actually been receptive to anything he was doing, he probably would have said something. But every turn that he made, every time he was doing something, you're like, get out of here. Don't talk to my daughter. You shouldn't be in here. Leave. Blah, blah. Like, that was literally how she was the whole time. And there was a scene, and I talked about this in my video as well. There was a scene that was deleted from like maybe 5 or 6 episodes ago. I think it was episode 8, where Sherlock and her were supposed to have a conversation about Nora and his whatever he believed that was going on with her. And that scene was removed. And I think they did that because they wanted to set up what happened in this episode, where everybody sort of like jumped on.
They want to play their cards early, because they played the long game with this storyline. And I think what it could have easily felt just stretched out. It's too much. But I think they beautifully set up to where every single time Sherlock makes a breakthrough, it's like 2 handwriting signatures. Timeline is malleable. And then he finally finds like it's written again by Eobard Thawne. Then he goes and actually sits in the chair with the glasses. It was really weird. He's like playing Sherlock.
It was creepy. That was a great scene, though. That was a great scene.
He did it so well. But yeah, I think they did it beautifully, because my girlfriend's sitting here. She's like complaining, like, when are they just going to reveal Nora's secret? And then she's like, it better be Sherlock. It better not be anybody else. And Sherlock comes in from behind everybody else. He's like, your secret. And then he just dives on in, and we're like loving it. Because
how many weeks were we waiting for him to do that? Because it's like I think 4 or 5 episodes before it actually happened, I'm like, just say something, say something, reveal it. He never did it. I'm just like,
I mean, he did say openly, is like, I figured it out. Like, I started suspecting something as soon as I got here, and that is correct, because he started like looking at her weird early on.
Where did you get the idea to do that? That's what he asked her. The very first thing was like, with the satellite. Where did you get the idea to do that? And it seems like,
because the way she's acting, she's not acting like somebody who can come up with this amazing plan to help her father stop a satellite.
Right.
Like, she sees her dad about to hit it, and then she reverses it back and then does it with him. But it's like, it's because Eobard told her to. Because before, she was just showing up at the wedding as a caterer, and I'm like, they're spending a lot of time on this extra. Who is this? And then sort of thinking, is that his daughter? Maybe. Who knows? And then she shows up randomly in after credit scenes. And it's like, because then she explained, well, no, Sherlock said, well, at first you were just making small little changes. Then you made a huge jump helping your dad with the satellite. What was that change? It's because Reverse Flash told him, or told her, in order to change the timeline, in order to, help out and actually do something to possibly stop Cicada. That's his excuse. I think it's something more than stopping Cicada. You have to do a major timeline shift, which in turn is the satellite. Because the timeline is just going to stay the same if she doesn't do anything.
I feel like he was actually testing the waters. He's telling her to do these things to see what happens.
Because he can see the timeline shift on that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, do this, see what happens. And if it doesn't work, then go back and do something else.
He's sitting there on his chair. He's sitting there. He's like, I hope this works because I don't know what's going to happen. Right. The timeline doesn't shift at all.
The good thing is that because of that language that they create or that he learned or used or whatever, I think they showed him making it back in season 1 of The Flash. He was learning it at Star Labs, but because of that language now, he's able to remember the stuff that he would have forgotten because it's all there in front of him. So any changes that happen, it's literally like laid out in this book or this journal or whatever, which is brilliant actually. If you think about it.
When the new timeline was being created, since we all heard the leak of who's showing up, I'm thinking, is Godspeed the new timeline shift? Like, because that'd be the coolest thing ever. Like, the timeline shift is not a new Cicada, it's Godspeed.
Right.
But then it would kind of negate Cicada because then you're like, well, I'm more focused. And I tweeted this out too after the Godspeed episode. I'm like, I was more interested in learning about Godspeed in this one episode than Cicada the entire season. What does that tell you?
The last 2 episodes, I've kind of forgotten about the Cicada storyline altogether, and that's not good. I mean,
no,
it's like you just forget.
I'm really hoping this new showrunner for season 6 is going to be like, okay, we hear you. The last 2 seasons didn't work in terms of main villains. Because the most, like, what's really important, what's like really getting me excited for season 5 of Flash is not Cicada. It's Reverse Flash. And now it's potentially Godspeed coming back, and it's the Nora reveal. It's all this stuff besides the main villain.
And the Red Death tease that everybody's expecting to see. So
I mean, come on. And we know it's not gonna be Bruce Wayne, but it's like, what if it's,
you know what I would love? I would love it because they already have access to the character and they don't have to use her every week. But I would love it if the Red Death character comes in and it's the Kate Kane, Ruby Rose version of Batwoman that does it to her, Barry Allen, on her reality in the multiverse. And she becomes the evil speedster. So we have a female evil speedster who's wearing like the whole suit. So literally all she has to do is provide the audio. You know what I mean?
And then like, when she takes off the mask, then Ruby can just come in for a scene.
Right. She would only need to be there for a couple scenes because they wouldn't know that it was her. Like we would know.
Yeah.
As comic book fans, we would know if we see a female speedster named Red Death that it's most likely going to be Ruby Rose. But they wouldn't know on the Flash. And then at the end, you get that reveal that it's been her all the time. And this is after we've seen, the Batwoman series. So
what they could say is like, well, we can't do the comic adaptation. We can't do it. We're taking the suit, we're changing the origin, but they don't reveal a name. We just hear a voice, and it's like, who is this person? And then we're all like trying to guess, is it Eddie? Is he back? It's like all those theories about Eddie coming back as Cobalt Blue or something. It's like,
that would be another good villain though. I mean, I would love for that to happen.
Because his body was never recovered.
No. And somebody in the chat asked how Eobard Thawne is still alive. Matt Lesher did a weird, surprisingly that I caught this. He did a Periscope on Twitter where he explained it. What a random place to do it. But anyway, he did it on Periscope. I recorded it. This is like, I guess 2 seasons ago. The way the showrunners at that time explained to him how Eobard is still alive because he'd technically been erased from existence after, Eddie shot himself or whatever. Before that, So it started back then. But he said that the showrunners told him that the moment Eobard started running back in time from his point in the future, the version of Eobard that is in the time stream or in the Speed Force, that version is always protected because that was the last impression of him before he was erased from reality. So as long as that one keeps coming back, then he's still around. and that's what they told him. So,
I mean, if it works, it works. I just feel bad because he's not Eobard Thawne. It's Tom Cavanaugh.
Right.
Like I wish they would just have Matt Letcher be because like I liked him on Legends. Like that was awesome. They gave him that.
Having Tom Cavanaugh as the Reverse Flash is problematic for me because if we follow the normal timeline, like for example, where he goes back and he kills Barry's mother and then takes over Wells's body and becomes Wellsabard, that's the whole first season, then he always gets erased at the end, right? So that version of him, the destiny of that version is always to get erased at the end of that season.
And the only way they explained it for Christ on Earth X was like he just stole another Wells's face.
Right. So, and that's fine. But then the way they kind of wrap that up, because I'm like, well, if he stole another Wells's face, how does he remember all the stuff he did with our characters back in season 1? Oh, the Speed Force journal. He's able to look at the Speed Force journal and he remembers all the things that happened. Yeah. So I think that's how they all tied it together. I think that's their way of tying it together.
Well, we're just going to use Tom Cavanaugh again for the Christ on Earth X.
Right.
We'll eventually set up something maybe down the road to explain how he still remembers. So
Matt Lesher's Eobard stole the face of the Wells from Earth X to become this version. And the reason why he knows everything is because he read the journal that has all the history in it. So there we are. That's why. And so I don't know if we'll ever see the Matt Lesher version again because of that.
I would like to.
I would. I loved him in Legends. I thought he was a great Reverse Flash.
I mean, it was weird because when we saw his face in season 1, I'm like, that's not Reverse Flash. But like, well, technically it is. It's Eobard Thawne. But it's like we're used to Tom Cavanaugh's face. But then when we saw him in Legends season 2, I'm like, I like his performance as well. I would like to see him return, but then
it's very different. Matt Lesher's is, in my opinion, much more evil than Tom Cavanaugh's. Like Tom Cavanaugh can play evil good, but he's like an evil, like genius evil. Whereas Matt Lesher was just pure, like I need to kill somebody. Okay, I'm gonna kill him. I need to do this. I need to do that. Like at the end with Doom World in season 2, he had literally killed all the heroes. He didn't care. He killed all of them, and I'm like, wow. Okay.
Wish I would have seen
it. Crazy. Yeah. All off screen with mask in a box. So.
That's my thing. If like people are like complain about something like where I say something in a reaction or something, and I say, well, I don't understand why this happened. People are like, well, it probably happened off screen. Well, if it happened off screen and I don't see it, it didn't happen. Because you can't just say, well, this big thing happened off screen when I didn't see it.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, somebody saying that Matt Lesher was busy. I mean, yeah, in real life, we understand why these things happen. I mean, he's on Narcos. He's a main character on that series, so he films in Mexico, and it's really hard to go from Mexico to Vancouver to Mexico to like that would be tough, and I understand that.
I mean, they got the actor who Tommy. They got him for that one scene as Earth X Prometheus,
which was cool. I was like, this is so cool to bring him back for that.
He just barely flew up to Vancouver and did like a overnight shoot and then flew back.
Yeah,
that whole sequence.
But how great was that though? I mean, he was so evil. He was such an evil Tommy. I loved it.
And then he played Oliver a little bit, like pretending to be emotional, and then he's like, "No, take the pill."
Right. And it was also, I think the only reason that even happened, and I say the only reason, I believe this is the only reason that happened, is because so many of us fans had pushed for Tommy to be Prometheus during, the season that he was
season 5.
Yeah. So, but I have to say, the whole Adrian Chase switch and all that, such a great story. Season 5 was... it's tough for me because I love season 1 and 2 of Arrow. I think season 2 is my favorite because of the whole Deathstroke thing.
Oh, yeah.
But season 5, it's so tough because they ended it so well. Those last like 2 or 3 episodes of that season were so good.
I go back. I don't know what it is about the music in some of these shows, but like it's a bit where on Lianu, the final episode of season 5, they're like all coming out, and Deathstroke was playing on both sides, but he was really working with Oliver. They're all walking, and then Prometheus walks out, and just the music they're playing with it is like, "Hello, Oliver," blah, blah, blah. And then it's like the way it's all set up. Then it goes to break. I'm like, oh
yeah.
So I'm so
good, so pumped. I Am Prometheus had a super chat for us. Tommy must come back as Adrian Chase. Also, Eric, do you think Chase is the one villain who never lost? You should answer that too as well. But
I mean, yes, he never lost. He actually
won. He won, and he won in a big way. It's like he went out on his own terms, which is like, wow. And yeah, I would love Tommy and Adrian to come back, but I don't know how, unless they brought Adrian from another Earth. But at this point, with Arrow ending next season, I don't think that's going to happen. I would love for him to show up in Crisis as Prometheus, as a bad guy, but help them fight in the Crisis fight. That would be
I mean, one of the best episodes they did for season 6 was bringing Prometheus back, and that, whatever drug that was.
I forgot about that episode. That was excellent. Such a good episode.
I think I was on vacation or something, and people are like saying, "You're gonna freaking love it." I'm like, okay, I guess. And I get back, and I'm like, what? They got him back, and he's in the suit, and he just comes out from. And then what they did was like, well, a lot of people are not really responding to Ricardo Diaz, so let's make Prometheus one of the best villains. Mention him up front.
He came in and showed us what we were missing in that season.
Yeah.
I was like, so good. Like the whole interactions between Oliver and Adrian are like I love Deathstroke, you guys. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like the scenes with Oliver and Adrian are so much better. I hate saying that, but they are to me. They're just so good. And like when they were at a panel I went to see when I went to DragonCon Atlanta, and they were there on the panel together. He's talking normally, then he switches to the Adrian Chase voice, and I'm like, oh God, so good, so good.
What they need to do for Crisis, in order to make me as a fan fulfilled, Manu Bennett needs to come back as Deathstroke.
Yes, I agree.
Last time. I mean, I know he's going to be on Titan Season 2, and I'm excited to see what they do because they're bringing in Ravager and Jared. Right. That's great. And apparently Batman. Okay. But Deathstroke has to come one more time.
I would love for him to show up just to do, like, fight to the death with somebody. Like, to get one last, like, fight.
I mean, and if they kill him, Oliver has to be there. It's got to be this moment where they finally – because, I mean, they were okay in Season 5 finale, but it's like – They work together some in season 6, but it's not the same. It's got to be like, they have to like build that bond back up they had in the flashbacks.
Oh yeah, 100%. Tashawn says Chris Klein is not very good at Cicada, but I think he would be better as Godspeed. I just don't think he's very good as a bad guy in general. He plays a normal guy really well, but as a bad guy,
American Pie is coming in as a villain. I'm like, okay. But then I heard a voice like, yeah, I gotta grit my teeth when I talk. It's like, okay.
You got another super chat there, it looks like.
Oh, really? Well, thank you, Prometheus. I'm in Prometheus for that one. Another one. Thank you. I am Prometheus. This guy is awesome. He's all about Prometheus.
He's supportive. I love him. He's awesome. Yeah.
For you think the one missed opportunity from Arrow season 5 finale is Chase versus Slade? Oh, you better believe it. That should have been a fight. But I mean, they did give us Dinah versus Black Siren, which was awesome. I did enjoy that. And now they're buddy, so that's okay too.
Yeah,
that was one of the biggest. I mean, I don't know if you watched the reaction. I screamed when
from the one from this past week. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw that.
I was trying not to stand up. So I've been off camera. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. Because first of all, two things. Number one, they give us that, which is like something they should never kill Laurel from Earth 1.
Yeah, I agree. That was a huge mistake. That's exactly why Dinah has never worked, because of that reason. So
I like Dinah, but I mean, my thing is
they tried to push her as a fan favorite. I don't think it's worked though. That's
they should have killed Quentin Lance instead of Laurel.
Yeah,
because he's the one who betrayed Damien Dark. So they gave us that, but also they confirmed majorly that she's still alive in the future, which still goes to my theory. They're working on an Arrow flash forward show, like because they have mostly everybody still alive. Now I don't think Diggle's going to be in it because they've already said he's dead.
Yeah,
I don't believe Oliver's going to be in it because I think he's going to die or something's going to happen to him. I mean, whatever deal he made with the Monitor, I
feel like Oliver has to die for one major reason. Anything moving forward in the Arrowverse, like in terms of like crossovers, Oliver wouldn't sit it out. He wouldn't, which means if he's not going to come back, like Stephen Amell may put on the suit to come back for a crossover now and again, which I think would be cool if they keep him. But if they don't, if they have no intention of ever bringing him back, or he has no intention of ever coming back, kill him off and give him a good death. That's it.
Because how do you explain it when they've already done flash forwards? We see Mia training as a little girl with Surprise. It was so cool to see. Oh God, what is her name? Blah, 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 who trained her instead of Oliver?
Nissa, right?
Nissa. Yeah, I was trying to. That liquor's getting to me. But Nissa, like that was so cool, and she was pregnant, by the way. But she still.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They said that.
But it was cool, so cool to see her, and then it's like, how are you gonna explain Oliver's still around when he's not in the flash forwards? They never meant like he's gonna die. But yeah, I just can't see them having him still alive at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then he comes back next year, and they just don't explain anything. He's just there. It just makes sense. So, but they got to kill Oliver. And I guess, no, is he going to die in crossover? And then the last episode 10, is just going to be what, like...
There was another theory that someone said, and I don't remember if I found it on Reddit or where it was, but they had a theory that Oliver made a promise to the Monitor to take the place of a monitor, like basically to fill that void. So when they defeat the anti-monitor, Oliver has to fill that spot because it can't be. You have to have one of each.
So Oliver's become the new anti-monitor.
That's what they were saying. Like some people were theorizing that.
Or what if it's a situation where the monitor made the deal to Oliver that when this crisis comes, I have to die, and then you will take my place as the monitor. Or maybe Oliver becomes the new monitor. Right. Maybe not the anti-monitor. I don't want to see Oliver becoming an anti-monitor.
Could you imagine that? I mean, this is a Reddit theory. So
think about it. If he survives Crisis on Earth, but the monitor dies, he has to take his place. The wrap-up episode 10 is just to be him saying bye to everybody, and it's a big bye thing where he can't come back. He has to be.
If they don't kill him off, he has to leave to do something. I mean, that's the only way it's going to work. You got another super chat, it looks like.
Oh, another super chat. I like super chats. Thank you, Prometheus. Again, maybe Oliver doesn't die, but him and Barry are lost in time or someplace similar to Bruce during Final Crisis. Ooh. You know what? That actually would... Well, I mean, because Barry does get lost in Crisis, but obviously the timeline is shifted, so maybe he doesn't get lost.
I think Oliver, if they're going to do that, it would be Oliver that would get lost in time somehow.
Yeah, because maybe he does something and he sacrifices himself and he just can't be brought back.
Right, like Barry goes to do it and Oliver stops him and says, "No, I'm the one that made this promise" or whatever, and then he has to do it.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so sad.
I feel like we're gonna. I mean, we know the end is coming, and we're preparing for it now. But it's like at the same time, how is the Arrowverse going to function without its like backbone? Like Arrow is the foundation of all of that.
That's why they're going to use the crossover, I think, to introduce brand new characters from other Earths. They're going to help because all hands on deck, like you said, everyone's got to be included. They're going to bring in characters we've never seen before from other Earths, and they're going to possibly set up potential new shows. Because
do you think they're going to announce a new show? Do you think that's what's going to happen? We're going to get an announcement for a new show.
I think. Well, I mean, Batwoman, I think is going to get picked up. I mean, it's pretty. I mean,
apparently the pilot's really good. There's early reports that everybody that saw the pilot loves it. So
I mean, the thing is, I was waiting for leaked photos of her in the suit again. I'm like, I just want to see another photo of her in the suit because we barely saw her in Elseworlds. But yeah, I feel like her show is going to come into play, and then Arrow's going to be going off. And I feel like the reason maybe this is just me thinking, but I think Legends was renewed just for them to be in the crossover again because all hands on deck. But I feel like Legends probably would not have gotten to season 5 if Crisis was not next.
Which is why I think it may potentially be their final season because it's an expensive show to make. Like I said, there's a lot of extra costs that go into it. Yeah. They're giving it more episodes. I could deal with like I would prefer. I know that when it comes to network television, it's different. Like if you look at the streaming shows, the average season is like 10 to 13 episodes usually for a streaming show. Very rarely do they get like 22, 23 episodes. But I would say, like, look, Candagraph said, sorry about that, Chainsaw. I failed you. They didn't do an outside shoot with Ruby in the suit. Oh, okay.
Damn it.
But yeah, so I feel like if Legends, if they instead of getting canceled, cut it down to like 13 episodes and just give us a nice, tight 13 episode season. I mean, I would rather have that,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they announced Legends ends with the crossover as well.
Ooh, that would be pretty heavy. I think.
Yeah, I mean, because I just feel like they're going to be just doing so much because they've already said it's going to change everything moving forward. Kind of like how Endgame changes everything. The Crisis is going to change everything because I feel like there's still going to be a multiverse. It's just not going to be what it is now. They're going to merge Earth 38 and 1 into one.
I feel the same way. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
They're probably going to destroy a couple of Earths from heroes that are going to be in the mix that they left their Earth to come help fight. Their Earth gets destroyed. They have to stay on the new Earth now, which means shows.
Earth 1 will basically become Prime Earth, or the only Earth that everybody can live on. Like, I think that's going to create the dark multiverse, which is why we may get like Red Death, because we get the opposite of the multiverse, like Earth -1,
means
which maybe it says
Godspeed. The first half of season 6, the back half is Red Death.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that. I just said, I believe it was earlier today, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does it really well, and they've been doing it for a few seasons now, breaking up the season into like little mini story arcs. How cool would Flash be if we got like some of these like 6-episode big bad, and then like a 10-episode big bad, and then like another like 5-episode big bad at the end or something like that? I think it would be cool because then you could get like less filler episodes, more focus on the villains that are there, and really these tight, compact storylines.
Because they don't have a lot of time to set up a full season. Because like once they set a main villain, they got to figure out how to fill the 20 plus episodes.
Right.
And that's where the villain of the weeks and these filler comes in, because they don't have a lot of time, because they go on a short break in between writing a season to the next season. So they don't have enough time to set up these many episodes. Like I said, if they had 10 or 13 per season, they would have way more time to properly set the whole season up from beginning to end and not having to add too much filler. But with them doing 20 plus episodes and them only having 9 to 10 days to shoot an episode, they don't have a lot of time to set it up.
Right. And you got to think that I've told people this before. They wonder why some of the continuity gets screwy in the middle. And I think you probably know this as well. Some of the people in the chat probably don't. But when the writer's room are writing episodes, they overlap some writing. So one episode they may write that a certain thing happens, and then in a filler episode, they're writing another separate story, and it doesn't quite line up with what happened in the previous one. And they have to like basically powwow together and figure out like, how are we going to make this work? Which is why sometimes you'll get a filler episode that completely skips over something that happened like last week, because they overlap those scripts. So
I mean, it was kind of bizarre. I mean, in the way they wrote how they revealed Zoom, because they had a Gorilla Grodd centric episode, and at the very end, they finally went back to what happened to Jay Garrick, and it actually was another version of Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah.
Like, the episode had nothing to do with Zoom. They moved on. They were at Gorilla City, and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, this is a complication. Like, what? Where did this come from?
Right.
It just made no sense. But I hope the new showrunner in season 6 will actually turn things around in terms of main villains, because I just feel like the Thinker was a huge letdown. And then Cicada, I mean, look, the niece is more interesting in
Shikada is what a lot of people it's
way more interesting in the little bit of time we've seen her,
right?
Her uncle in the entirety of the season so far.
Yeah, and she's only been in like maybe 20 minutes total the whole time she's been on.
Yeah,
right now.
She just went like, okay, uncle, you're not going to help me? Die.
Somebody in the chat is trying to get your attention. Kingbo Cavill, he says he has a theory.
I have a theory. What if Barry makes 2 time remnants in Crisis? Does that work? No, because it kind of, to me, it would kind of ruin the stakes if Barry just kept making time remnants to stop everything. Because, I mean, he did that one time when the time remnant sacrificed himself in the Zoom episode, the finale.
And he learned his lesson with Savitar. Maybe it's not such a good thing to do time remnants.
Because he used that to fight, and it turns out he's fighting Savitar, but then there's one that was left alive because that is Savitar. It's like really like time.
My thing is like, I don't think he thought of that. He's like, okay, I'm going to make these remnants. They're all going to die. Wait, one's alive? What do we do with this guy now? Like he's just
Savitar leaves that one alive because that's him. It's really weird.
It's so confusing. Yeah.
But I was like, all right, I'll go with it, because I mean, people were saying before Zoom was revealed that is an evil Barry. So they've been trying to push that theory for a while that we'll eventually see an evil Barry. We did, but barely any time with him besides him in the suit all the time.
Right.
But I just don't see if they just make it to where Crisis, everybody's on board. We have all these new characters. We got Superman, Tom Welling, Superman, blah blah blah, Batwoman, got all these characters, but Barry's just gonna make time remnants.
Yeah,
we just negate the whole stakes of it, because I feel like they're going to kill off characters from all the shows.
Pirate Dog says Cicada the big bad, yet we care more about Reverse Flash. I'm absolutely on board with that 100%. I agree with that.
And that 10-minute time clock, I don't know what, I don't think that means that means he could die in 10 minutes, but I think it's more of he's got a plan in place.
Oh yeah, he's definitely, because he's not sweating. He's acting like it doesn't matter, because he knows something is going to happen. It's just we got to figure out what it is. See, somebody said, what did we think of the Swamp Thing teaser?
I liked it. It's PR spin though, because
it's so tiny. I believe they put that out specifically because of the news that broke about them subtracting episodes.
It was PR spin. They halted production after 10 episodes, 13 planned. It was all spin. They probably had that ready to go and have that air at a later time after they maybe like once the show finished production, like the ending of production, they dropped that teaser. But since production got halted, the rumors started, then it got confirmed. Actors, like an actress posted on Instagram about it, then she deleted it because she's probably told by Warner Brothers to check that thing.
She got in big trouble for that, I'm sure.
Lawyers called up, like, you want to get sued? And so they dropped that teaser to kind of PR spin it. He looks great.
And that's why they did it. The teaser is like, it looks great, but yeah, you're right. I mean, we only see like this much of it, though. It's like just ahead. So.
All the comments are like, it looks great, but only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Because they're having to rewrite an ending because they don't have the extra episodes.
That's kind of what disappointed me about Titans. I made a video about that when I was doing my Titan reviews, and I said, you know, the one thing that bugged me was you could tell that the finale of Titans was missing something because it was actually the penultimate episode. It was the one before the actual finale, and they reworked the finale to be the opener for season 2. But you could tell something was wrong, and so we're talking about subtracting 3 episodes. And if it's 3 episodes that are supposed to be at the end of the season, that's going to mean it's like the episode. It's not even close to wrapping up the season.
Well, there was another episode too that they didn't air from Titans.
Yeah, it was one about the mother, I think, right? Wasn't it? Yeah,
they mother. They had her casted, and they said like, "Oh, she's casted to be her mom." This is while they were still filming, and it's completely gone. And apparently, that episode also included more of the nuclear family, and that was just gone too.
Yeah,
but like they apparently reshot stuff for that season finale, now the season 2 premiere.
Yeah.
So they're reusing footage they've already shot, and they're reusing reshoots to formulate a season 2 premiere out of that season finale, which I think is bizarre. But
I wonder how it's going to come out on the editing floor, because we know, like, if you want to look at a disaster of like choppy editing, look at the Justice League movie. I mean, that's a pretty good example of what could happen. I hope that doesn't happen. What do you think about the casting for Batman, for the old man Batman?
Ian Glenn, he's a great actor on Game of Thrones. He's not my first choice, but that's because when I look at him, I see Jorah Mormont, the friend zone king,
with the grayscale who got saved. He's
got the blonde hair, which is not Bruce. But I know what's going to happen. They're going to get his hair black. They're probably going to cut it shorter, or they're going to make it look like Bruce from those behind shots in Titan season 1. And I mean, it's going to be fine because when you see pictures of him in a suit, he looks great. So he can pull off Bruce Wayne. Now,
the thing is, he's like, I believe in real life, he's like 58, but I'll be honest, he doesn't look 58 to me. He looks a lot younger than that. So he could probably pull off like a 49, 50-ish like Batman, which I think is fine.
And I'm excited to see, because like the report that came out from Variety or whatever Deadline that ran it, they said, well, we're unclear if he's going to suit up as Batman. Are you kidding me? Of course he's going to suit up as Batman. Because I mean, they already made a test outfit that was just kind of in the nightmare sequence.
Yeah, because it was unfinished. I remember seeing the pictures of it. It was just basically unfinished.
It was just different pieces of different suits combined together, and they just hid in the dark. I mean, I was fine with it because I knew it wasn't real. I mean,
well, the thing is, if you're watching the episode, you had never seen the other pictures, you probably wouldn't have even noticed it. But we all, like you and I, we see stuff like this, and we see the pictures. You're like, it's a good thing the lights were turned off on that one, because it was like,
there's the guy looking in the ears, kind of jointed over here. It's like, oh, okay, that's that.
It was all buckles on the center. There was no actual logo or anything.
I was like, come on, guys. But then again, you weren't supposed to see it. But the fact that they upped, I think Curran Walters, I think his name, who plays Jason Todd, he's a serious regular now. So that makes me more excited, because that means
he was so good on the episodes that he was in. So I was like,
they already showed Joker in that episode. I feel like they're gonna be doing the death of Jason Todd and setting up Red Hood down the road. I mean, maybe not this season, but they're definitely setting that up, because the fact is, Deathstroke's coming in, which makes me think Batman versus Deathstroke.
I mean, it's an older Deathstroke too, which means they could do like the two older guys fighting. I think that would be pretty dope.
Have some dialogue where they're just reminiscing on fights they had before, or things that went down. I'm like, I want this show, please.
We could get it. I mean, that could happen. It's totally available. I mean, the thing is, they're there. DC's already allowed them to show up on the show, which means that there's a possibility of that happening. So
Superman. And because Wonder Woman's been name dropped several times because Troy's on the show. I'm thinking, look, if they're allowing Batman, the top tier character, they've cast Bruce Wayne. We know he's in the show. What makes them from stopping to give us a TV version of
Because originally the Holy Trinity were like off limits for TV, but we know we've got Superman on Supergirl, and now we have Batman on Titans. What's stopping them from using Wonder Woman at this point? I mean,
I think it'd be cool if they introduce because Wonder Woman's on Themyscira on Earth 1. We just never seen her because they've Themyscira. So are they going to, if they announce a Wonder Woman for the crossover, done. Done. That's it. I'm ready. They tried to do Adrian Padalecki, I think her name was, who played.
Did you see that? That was up on YouTube for a while. I watched it. I was like, oh no! Like,
they tried so hard.
She was so. I love her. I love her in Agents of Shield. She's a great Mockingbird, not a great Wonder Woman.
Have you seen Orville?
Yes, I love her in Orville as well. Yeah,
Orville's
yeah,
so
she's great
good.
in that. So yeah.
Ugh.
So I remember when I first saw the show because it was like she got the short end of the stick with agents because she left to do that spinoff show that never happened.
I feel bad.
And then it's like it didn't get picked up. I'm like, oh my God, how does a Marvel show not get picked up? But now we know it's because there was a lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes. But the fact is that her character was gone from agents. Luckily, she got picked up by Orville because she's fantastic at Orville.
Yeah.
But then they can't use her as Mockingbird on the agents anymore because the filming schedule overlaps. So
It's and also like when the show didn't get picked up, like they had no plans to use those characters because they were going to be on their own show. So
right.
they had no way to write them back in because it was already a done deal. Like they had already exited.
Right.
We already set up all this other stuff. We're filming. We've moved on. We can't help.
She was such a badass as Mockingbird, though. I loved her.
It reminded me that one hallway scene where she's like flipping the batons and thinking,
yeah.
That's Black Widow, kind of, and that's so cool. Like, why can't we have her?
I love when she had the batons that she could throw and then call them back. I was like, those are freaking awesome. Like, that was great.
It was so good, and I'm glad they brought her into the mix of that character at least because I feel like that character would never be in the movies. It just never happened.
That's why I love the whole Disney Plus thing because I think they're testing the waters with their A+ like actors to see like what's going to happen. But they've already said that we're going to get like so many new shows on that service that I can't even imagine what characters we're going to see. I mean, it's like, what are we going to get? Are we going to get like
asking for a Moon Knight show or a Moon Knight movie? They could do Moon Knight.
They could. Well, we know that we're getting What Ifs. That's going to be great. The first one, I think the very first one was what if?
Yeah.
What was the first one? Do you know
Peggy
what it is?
Carter gets a super soldier serum.
That's it.
Rogers
and we have a female Captain America. Yeah.
Steve Rogers goes into war with a suit created by Howard Stark.
Yeah.
So it's like okay.
I don't care if it's live action, animated. I love the whole idea of What If. I think it's so good. So,
well, they confirmed it's the first animated MCU tie-in. Well, it's not really an MCU tie-in because it's What Ifs. But like they said that they're going to try to bring back like most of the voice, like the actual actors
to do their voices. Yeah. So, oh man, oh yeah, Disney Plus has all the seasons of Simpsons too, which is like 30 seasons, right? Yeah.
But it's like they're doing Loki, they're doing all this stuff. They have the Mandalorian, they're having a Cassian Andor show. Kathleen Kennedy talked recently about Knights of Old Republic is being discussed about for whatever. I'm like, they're going to destroy. Like they're going to come out now. They're not going to destroy Netflix, but if they continue to put out fantastic like proper
it's going to be competition. It's going to be a competitive market for sure though.
I feel bad for Netflix because man, they're losing a lot of their properties left and right.
They should have kept the Marvel shows. That's all I'm saying. Like
they axed those because like fuck you, Marvel.
Well, they wanted to do the Umbrella Academy because it's their property now. They bought that comic book property. I love the show. I just don't know if that's enough to keep like the comic book fans over there. You know what I mean? Like
well, they're doing The Witcher, which is not comic books, but it's video games.
Yeah.
You got Superman. So
and if that's good, if it's really good, which I'm hoping it is, because I love Witcher. I like the whole Witcher series. I really love Witcher 3, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this show. Supposedly, it's based on the books though, and not the games. So
and I think it's starting at his origin. I think.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. And Henry Cavill, like he said, he loves the role, so we'll see what's going to happen with that.
Apparently, has been like really happy with the dailies, saying multiple seasons might get picked up, and the fact it's apparently airing in the fall, so that's good.
Right.
So it's coming. Yeah. And like they have the Resident Evil franchise. They recently bought that IP, and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. All of those books apparently got the IP for shows and movies. I'm like, okay, guys, like you're buying every IP you can that Disney hasn't bought yet.
And now here's the thing: I was thinking about this because we know that the DC online universe hasn't necessarily been struggling, but it hasn't been, as far as I know, performing as well as I guess they wanted it to perform, which is why we're seeing cuts. But
apparently they responded to like all these rumors of like it being failing. Apparently Warner Brothers is saying it's exceeding their expectations.
That's so weird because it's a US only streaming service. It's not even worldwide.
Well, they do have that deal with Titans on Netflix, but that's been on an international format.
Yeah.
I feel like if a show airs, you need to put it on. And if you can't have DC Universe expand out past the US, you need to have some sort of rights because Netflix Titans, okay, that's cool. Okay, you already aired the first half of Young Justice season 3. Have an international Netflix deal where you have season 1, 2, and half of 3.
Right now, the only way people can watch it, well, there's two ways you can watch it internationally. Number one is you can have a VPN and you can sign up with the service that way, which is kind of an issue. You have to pay for your VPN and then you have to get the service. The other way is obviously to do it illegally, and that's not good. You don't want to have your property floating around there, illegally or whatever.
I'm paying $15 a month for HBO Now just to watch Game of Thrones season 8. Like,
yeah.
The thing is for me, like people, it's like, well, how do you do your reactions? Like, well, here's the thing, guys. I pay almost $100 a month for my TV package to watch the shows legally. And then I have to get an illegal download to edit, but I am paying money to watch.
Oh, yeah.
That way, but it's like, guys, you can go into the CW app the next day and watch it for free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See, there's a lot of ways people get it, but I feel like the availability is what screws a lot of these companies, because if you make it available, people will most likely get it the right way because you're giving it to them. But with the DC streaming service, I feel like they're cutting their hand off before they even get out to the world. And the Warner Brothers online streaming service, supposedly there was a rumor that was going to absorb the DC online.
Yeah.
I think, this is just me, if they're going to put their money where their mouth is, because if the DC Online universe gets absorbed into Warner Brothers, say goodbye to free comic books, because that's not going to happen. They're not going to do that anymore. I think they should leave the DC Universe app separate, maybe even reduce the price for the people that just want that DC content, and then put it on the Warner Brothers streaming service as part of that package for the people that just want the shows, because then that way you're feeding both audiences. So the international people can get the Warner Brothers streaming service and still see the shows. They just don't get like the comic books and all that other stuff that comes with the DC Universe app. So
yeah, that could definitely work. If they're going to absorb
I love the free comics. That's me. Yeah. I love the free comics.
And they've added so much to it too recently. Like the problem was when they launched out of the gate, they should have had a game plan, because when it launched, there was no new shows. There was Titans wasn't available.
Right.
The Young Justice wasn't going to air until next year. There was like so many problems, and then they didn't have a proper way to set up international issues, because they're saying US only. We'll give you an idea later about international, but we've not heard a peep of
it, which is why I'm worried. That's why I think maybe the whole thing about it's exceeding expectations feels like it might just be lip service at this point, because of the fact that because if it does get absorbed into the Warner Brothers, here's the thing. Let's think about, just off the top of my head, and I could be wrong, there's a few Warner Brother properties that I think would be huge. The Harry Potter franchise. You could do some originals on that, based on that. The Legos properties are owned by Warner Brothers, which means you could easily do like a Lego show and put it on there. What are some of the other ones they have? Because if you think about Harry Potter, that's huge. That's huge. You got all that. What else is on there that's in there? Oh, the Godzilla franchise is owned by Warner Brothers. You also have what's the other one? Pacific Rim. So you could do a Godzilla versus Pacific Rim thing. That's all falls under the Warner Brothers banner. So I'm just saying, they could compete with something like the Disney Plus service. They have the properties there that they're available to use. It's just whether or not they've got Friday the 13th. That's a Warner Brothers property. You could do a slasher show based on Friday the 13th. There's so many things you could do. Like,
at this point, it's like all the streaming services are going to add up to more money than cable.
It is. It is absolutely.
There's too many, because everyone's like looking. Because I remember seeing the articles when Apple did their announcement of Apple TV Plus, their streaming service, they're upcoming, and it's like they have all these big names. Oprah comes out, then they have Jennifer Aniston's coming back to television. Since Friends, she's never been on television before. Before that, and it's like, okay, but everyone's talking about how it seems like it's too late. It's just another thing where it might. Who knows? I think Apple's like, well, we sell so many iPhones, we can just make a streaming service. Like, that's not how this works, guys.
Right.
It's so hard to get in this competition now, but Disney's doing it right, because everyone knows Star Wars. I mean, the MCU, they made $2 billion on Infinity War alone. They have the power. And the Simpsons, that's
Marvel and Simpsons and Star Wars. You pretty much have sold everybody right there.
And you got Pixar. You
haven't even jumped into the kids, the benefit of having kids. If you're in a family and you got kids, I mean, you get all of their movies. They said within the first year they're going to have everything on there. So
and then you go into Pixar, and then you have Disney animated classics, like you said. Like, you have so much access to all the stuff day one when it launches. DC Universe launches. We got some comic books. We have old shows and old movies you've already seen before. We don't have anything new for you.
Right.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
it's marketing strategy. That's the issue. I feel
like I love the idea of Stargirl and stuff, but it's just not enough. There needs to be more content, and
they should have jumped out the gate with Titans, Doom Patrol, and Young Justice episodes already available day one.
Yeah.
That would have probably got a lot more people, because people are like, well, I'm not going to sign up now immediately out the gate because Titans isn't available. And I'm not going to sign up until after a couple of these shows because I'm just waiting around for shows when I can just save my money and then binge it later.
They need to have at least 2 things kind of going at the same time every season. You can't do like just this one show a week thing. It's not enough, in my opinion.
That's the problem.
J.K. Rowling is too political to keep writing Harry Potter books, Pirate Dog. Yeah. It's so funny because she would just reveal, like, there's all these memes about stuff that she reveals or whatever, like after the fact. So it's just funny. It's
too much stuff. Like, simmer down, J.K.
Right.
Come on.
So, well, I know you've got to get to your reaction. I know Gotham. A lot of people are coming in and they're saying you got to watch it. You got to watch it. I'm guessing it was really good tonight.
Yeah, I'm watching it tomorrow. Luckily I'm off work tomorrow. So
are you okay? Cool.
Yeah, I'm watching. I guess I watch through Hulu. So
okay, awesome. All right, well then, yeah. There's people are coming in. It's like people are saying, "Don't spoil it" because you hadn't seen it yet. So
I'm not reading the chat unless you brought it.
Yeah, if it's something for the chat that needs to be brought up, I'll read it to you. Because I'm actually a couple episodes behind on Gotham, and I'm not too worried about the spoilers. Don't spoil it for me though. Like, don't do it just because I said that. But my friend Boba Talks, who does the Gotham reviews or whatever, he keeps me up to date on all the stuff going on with Gotham. That show has had this last season has been so heated and ready to go, and like everybody's excited about it. And you get that time jump next week, I think, right? Isn't there a 10-year time jump or something like that?
Yeah. The final season, it's insane because they had to chop down a bunch of episodes, but they have been doing so much, and it's like it can be overwhelming. But it's like they're like there's no filler, there's no like scenes where they could have easily not had that, but like they don't have time for that.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get right to it.
Right.
And, I mean, I'm all hyped. I'm surprised they revealed. Like, I'm guessing you saw the Mr. J, like the final.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they showed that because I'm like, they're being so secretive on a lot of things in the finale. Why would you show that?
Yeah.
Wait.
I feel like they did it because there were some leaked photos and they were just getting a lot of bad feedback from it. I don't know. I'm just kind of speculating there and throwing it out there, but I feel like they were, again, it was their like all this PR stuff to try and cover up everything. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. Somebody says they want a live action Assassin's Creed TV show. After that movie, I don't know if I'd want one or not.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like at this point, you need to let that franchise die down a little. Fassbender, he's a great actor. He could not save that thing. I mean, I didn't even see it because I was like, I heard so many bad.
I fell asleep watching it. Like halfway through it, it's like I was watching with some friends and they're like, "Hey, wake up!" Like, what are you doing? It was boring to me. I just didn't like it. It
was bad when I was little because I went to go see Pokemon. I think it was like the third movie, Pokemon 2000. My dad was asleep the whole time in the theater. I'm like, whatever.
To tell you how bad it was, we went and saw Hellboy. We got a pass for like the day early to see it early. And that was right around the time we were sitting at dinner. I'm sitting on the phone and I'm like looking through, and all of a sudden the reviews start coming out that night, like the night before. And so I'm like, guys, do we really want to go see this movie? Because I'm seeing the reviews are kind of bad. It was like 9% or something on Rotten Tomatoes. And normally I don't back away from movies, but that was so low. I was like, oh, this is really bad. We went and saw it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up because of the sleeping thing you were talking about, we had 2 or 3 different people sleeping in that movie. No lie. Like there was one guy like over here that was sleeping and snoring. We had like a guy on the row we were on, like down at that end, that was sleeping next to his friends. And then somebody way back in the back. They were all sleeping during Hellboy. And I'm like, this is not good. It wasn't even 20 minutes into the movie.
That's bad. Not even 20 minutes. Jesus. Like I remember seeing, we saw Dumbo, me and the girlfriend, my mom. We went to see Dumbo, and it was 30
I heard that was bad. I haven't seen that yet. So
well, yeah. So some like when they how the fact they had to extend the story because the original movie is so short.
Yeah, it's like an hour, I think.
Yeah. So like it's Thursday night preview screenings. Every time I go to Thursday night preview screenings, whether it's Avengers or Batman vs Superman or whatever, there's always like either half the audience or more is filled. And we go in, the theater I sat in seated like 134 people. There's always like a number on each of the rooms with how many people can be seated. There's maybe 15 people in there.
It was the same way with Hellboy. Same way.
It's so bad. And like the fact that Hellboy made like what, 12 million? It's like, oh my god, like they were expecting like 16, and it was like 12.
Normally I don't like I try to always look at the positives, even if I don't like something. There was literally like maybe David Harbour as Hellboy was okay. The rest of it was just I don't know what happened. Apparently there was a lot of drama on set with like
Yeah.
the actors wanting to do something different, the directors wanting to do something different, the studio wanted to do something different. So it was just
Apparently David was walking off set all the time for whatever reason. Just like stuff was just going on, he didn't want to deal with it. But it's like all I kept hearing from people that saw the movie, like when they were tweeting out saying I just came out of Hellboy, and their first response is like, I came out of Hellboy, I wanted that Hellboy 3. Like,
yeah,
like
absolutely.
They should have just gave Hellboy 3 to get them all done.
They're gonna regret that. That'll go down as like one of the worst mistakes they've made in a long time.
Like, I think when they officially stopped talking about it, like once it was officially Guillermo del Toro pitched it, he was cut off a couple weeks later, reboot. It's like,
yeah.
Oh my, that's bad timing. You should have waited.
Mark says, what are we excited for with E3 this year? Is there anything you're looking forward to from E3?
Well, I mean, E3, Gears 5. Is it Gears? Yeah, it's Gears 5. Yeah, because Gears 4. Yeah. Gears. I can't keep up. It's been so long since those games. Hopefully more information about Halo 6, because like that teaser didn't feel like Halo 6, but it was Halo 6.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not really sure, because I feel like with Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out, I mean, that was my big thing, and it was like so.
Yeah.
I don't know, but my thing too is like Comic-Con. This year's gonna be very interesting.
Oh yeah,
because everyone's gonna think, is Marvel going to be there? Are they going to drop Phase 4? Because in-games are going to be out.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the Arrow panel, are all the questions going to be about, okay, so what's happening in the final season? You only got 10 episodes. How are you going to do this?
Yeah.
It's all the questions about the crossover. I don't know, because
I want a teaser. I want more than a picture. I think we'll only get a picture, but I would like more than a picture. I would love. Well, I think we'll at least get a picture, but I don't know, because if you remember correctly, the original picture for Elseworlds had Barry in his like season 4 suit, when we know that he never wore that.
It was just like a picture of the Trinity of the CW Arrowverse,
right,
and then the Batwoman signal.
Yeah.
But then later that day, I saw another image where they had the Batwoman logo from the comics when they had the Mark Pedowitz CW president talking. I'm thinking,
right,
they're specifically giving time to Batwoman, and then I'm like, guys, the show's coming. They're gonna do the show, and yeah,
you got another super chat waiting now. So
super chat. Let's see here. Oh, thank you for me this again. Avatar reaction, your movie reaction. I'm also hyped for Halo news. Yeah. So have you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
So the show's beautiful.
Wait. Are you talking about the TV show or the movie?
The TV. No, so the TV show. I
love the TV show. Absolutely. Yeah. The movie I've seen.
And then I reacted to the movie.
Oh, I have not seen that one yet. I haven't seen that yet.
The full reactions on Patreon. The edited version, luckily, is on YouTube. I had to do some editing because there was like bits that were being caught.
Yeah.
Literally. The edited reaction does not give it really justice, because like every minute of the show, there's a major problem that we're noticing. Like Logan pointed right off the bat, it's like, hey, you know how they wear those beautiful blue coats, Sokka and Katara? I'm like, yeah. And I'm looking at him, and they're showing them on screen. I'm not really paying attention. I'm like, let me guess, they're not in there. And he points. I'm like, wait, they're wearing the brown coats? Like, yep, that's it, brown coats the whole time. And everybody in the village is native, but they're like, them and their grandma are white. And then they cut out the whole bit where Aang like wants to go penguin sledding. They just cut right to like where they're just back in the village. At that point, I'm like, this is going to be a disaster. And I'm
still curious to why they. No offense to M. Night Shyamalan, because I think he's done some great stuff. Why did they give that movie to him? I don't understand why he got that movie. Was it a passion project for him? I don't even know. Like,
I can't believe that, because he got so much of it wrong. When a passion project comes about, we're like, this is my passion project. They put a lot of time and effort in getting things accurate if they're covering something like that.
Yeah.
But the show had already set up so many good things, and they made it to where it's like half the movie, the first half is just skipping through all the stuff, and the second half is just them in the finale of one, and that's it. And Aang's bending, like bowing down like this. What? Azula teaser. Azula, I love Azula. Like, as soon as book 2 started, I'm like, I love her. And then I started.
Do you think we'll ever get another movie? Like, I mean, based on what happened with that one?
They're doing a live action show for Netflix.
Oh, they are. That's right.
The original creators. So that's still good, but like,
I forgot about that. It's
yeah,
gonna be so good.
that's what got me really excited because like when they said live action show, I'm like, but then they said the original creators are heavily involved and they're executive producing. They're in like, okay, I think we'll be good because they were not consulted for the movie.
Have they done any casting yet for the
No,
show?
not
No.
yet.
All right.
But yeah, I just watched the first episode of Korra yesterday.
Yeah.
And I honestly really enjoyed it, and I like the subtle references to Avatar, and I like the surprises of who's in the episode. I'm like, what? But yeah, people are said, people say it's a mixed bag. People say they love it. People say they hate it. For me, it's like I'm not going to compare it to Avatar. I know it's a different show. It's obviously the next Avatar after Aang, but I'm just going to treat it as its own thing. But what really threw me off was the fact that there's cars.
Yeah. I've only seen a couple of episodes of it. My brother watched the whole thing, and he was over here today, and I asked, it's funny we're even talking about this because we brought it up today, and he said that it's good, but it's not as good as the original. So
yeah,
it's like,
well, because Nickelodeon, like, apparently, like, it was planned like as a mini series, and then Nickelodeon kept pushing them, and all these things were having production, and they were forced to do more when they weren't supposed to. So it's an issue, but really enjoyed that first episode.
Seeing here, somebody's saying who's excited for Cyberpunk 2077. That's the first person shooter done by CD Projekt Red, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Batwoman will be more entertaining than Supergirl. Well, I have to agree. I think so. Yeah, I think Batwoman's, because at least for me, because I'm more about the grittier superheroes, and Supergirl, I enjoy it. I think that's why I loved Rain so much in season 3, because she was just such a brutal villain.
Rain was the best. That story was great. That was the best villain that Supergirl's had.
And honestly, I was actually really enjoying the other world killers, and then when they did that twist where she became all of them at once, I'm like,
yeah,
what? Okay. Because like the first world killer, she was okay. The last one though, like I really liked her. Well, they had her like in one episode, and then she became a world killer. But then when she got all their powers, I'm like, okay, this is pretty intense. Because the focus has to be on Rain. It can't be on all 3 of them.
Yeah,
it's too much. But yeah,
Rain though, Odette Annabelle was excellent. Her as both Rain and her alter ego, just worked really well in the show. I think she did great. Very rarely do you find someone who can play like just a regular person and then this really weird evil character. It's so hard for them to do that, and she did a great job, which is why I think that Adrian Chase and Prometheus work so well, because for the longest time in the season, until you had that reveal, he's just a dude working there at the office with everybody, and he's just normal or whatever.
Yeah,
and then this switches it on. It's like, oh,
everything. He's just playing along, and no one knew, and he knows everything, and he's just There was one scene that I caught in season 5 where he's like talking about where Oliver went home with the girl that was with him at some party or something, and he's like, "Hey, it's okay, man. I don't hold any grudges." I'm like, "You don't hold any grudges? Are you serious?" It was just a subtle thing they added.
It's so good though, so good.
It's one of those where you have to go back and look at all the things they kind of seeded in that you didn't realize was a hint.
How do you think they're going to wrap up Arrow? What do you think the last episode is going to be? You think it's going to be like a ode to the fans, or you think it's going to be something connected directly to the show? Because it'll happen after the crossover. The crossover will have already occurred by the time we get that.
I think it's going to be an ode and kind of a remembering everything. And I'm guessing they're going to have some actors from the other shows being a part of it to kind of say goodbye, because I feel like it's going to be weird if like Oliver and everyone, they win the day and everything's fine. And then he just says bye to everybody on his own show. And he doesn't say bye to Barry, who he trained and helped and all this stuff. And they don't have anybody from Legends who's still alive. Maybe Sarah, like they have to have those characters, I think, because they helped. They helped.
The funeral. All of them need to be there by the graveside when the funeral happens. It's just the only way it could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if Oliver's dead, I mean, it'd be the weirdest thing ever to see the last episode without Oliver in it.
Filming wise, I think that Arrow is going to be on 1 week longer than the other shows during the mid-season. So I think that will be the episode where they bring everybody together for that last episode. So it should be easy for them to do that.
And
somebody
I wouldn't mind if they bring in Supergirl too.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, she had her relationship with Oliver was interesting, so that would be good. So he's talking about how many Brett the Saint goes, Crazy Jane from Doom Patrol plays like 6 or 7. Yeah, I love that actress. She's from what is it? Orange is the New Black was the other show that she was on. She does a great job too. I like that character. Doom Patrol is an interesting show. Very different from the other ones, for sure.
Definitely. I think that's the joy of these shows, is that the tone wise it's just different. Like they keep switching up the tone for the shows. Like Young Justice Outsiders, it's darker than it was.
Way darker than the other ones. Yeah. Oh, were you a fan of Young Justice before Young Justice Outsiders?
I was one of those people that was on Twitter back in 2016 being constantly about renewing Young Justice. And Brandon Vietti and Greg Weisman, the two creators of the show, were retweeting some of my stuff because I made 2 videos on my channel about how to help support Netflix, get the DVDs, Blu-rays, comic books. I was doing everything I could to try to promote and get, the show renewed.
So. I've told people, like, we've talked about like animated series and things that people like, and I like a lot of course, DC does some of the best animated shows, but Young Justice for some reason was always one of my favorites, probably like the top 2 with me, next to like the probably Justice League animated series, I think was really good. So like both of those. Yeah, DC's animated world is much better than Marvel's. I think their animated movies specifically are much better than Marvel's. I've always said if DC really wanted to screw with the world, just take the people that write the animated movies and let them write the live action movies and then go with that, because they take those 90-minute movies, those animated ones, and make them absolutely crazy and bonkers. And I love it. I love that about them. So
that's crazy.
And somebody says, what's your favorite? They're asking you, what's your favorite Batman armor suit? Like, I guess favorite Batman suit is what they're saying. Like, which one do you like the best?
Well, I mean, I'm always like going to like the animated 90s Batman. I love that look. Batfleck, love that suit design. It's obviously Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, easily.
I'm a fan of a lot of the different suits just because of like how some of them are so vastly different. I mean, I'm really, at one point I was like really into the blue and gray 70s look. But I'm it doesn't matter to me. But like my one concern, I'm worried that the bat suit for Gotham is not going to be good. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to come off. Like, come on, guys. Like, you have the one chance.
Have you seen the leaked pictures?
No, I'm steering clear of the leaked pictures.
You should, because I think I can't wait to hear what you think of it when you see it, because from what I've seen, it's going to be, you're either going to love it or hate it. I mean, that's really the way it's going to go. I don't think there's going to be any
between. That's how kind of Gotham has been, though. It's like either love, because like the Bane design.
There was people that loved it, and there was people that, hey, I didn't see anybody that go, it's okay. It's usually you love it or you hate it. There's no in between. You got a super chat.
It's a prototype Bane suit. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
So like that's why I can't really get mad at it. Well, if I can get the thing open here, let's see here. There we go. Speaking of Justice League animated with the recent movie release with the show comeback. With Justice League versus Fatal 5. I mean, the actor's been pushing for years to bring the show back. So, I mean, I don't know. I would like it to come back.
It kind of ended like just out of nowhere, you know? I mean, I would love for it to come back.
I mean, they had Justice League, they had the Unlimited series with more characters, but yeah, I mean, I would like to come back.
It's so weird. Speaking of that, and I know we've already talked about this a little bit, but it made me think of something when you said that. With so many great stories and characters, especially like people like Flash and Superman and Batman, why was it so hard to do a Flash script? I mean, you've got so many stories to take and adapt. Like, why was it so difficult? I
feel like it's the problem with the studio didn't know what they wanted to do anyways. Like, directors came in, pitched stuff, they hired them, then they got rid of them. Like,
the show has 5 seasons. You've got stories. Like, come on.
But it's like if they do a Reverse Flash story, the show already did it.
Yeah, and the show did a damn good job of it. So it's pretty hard to like compete with that.
We're gonna do Godspeed. Well, they just
Flashpoint first movie without ever establishing these characters. That would have been like
it'd been a waste.
I feel like they could do a Flashpoint, but you needed these other movies to come out first. We needed to know who Aquaman was. We needed to know who Wonder Woman was.
You needed at least 2 Aquaman, 2 Wonder Woman. You need at least 1 Flash movie to kind of, and then at least have Cyborg in the mix somewhere, so that you can establish those key differences in Flashpoint. Because like I said, if they did Flashpoint right away, why would you care about an Atlantean? And it just wouldn't make no sense. Like there's these wars going on and everyone's dying.
You would have seen Aquaman as like a jerk, which is what he is in Flashpoint. He's kind of an asshole in Flashpoint. Yeah. You would see him as that character, but you would have never known what he was before because we never learned who he was. That was the great thing about the Flashpoint movie is we had those other Justice League movies with those characters leading up to Flashpoint. So we kind of knew who these characters, I mean, yes, you know who Aquaman is, but in the context of the animated world, we had to learn who those characters were. And I think in the actual live action world, we need to do the same thing. That's kind of how I felt about it. Have you seen the Krypton teaser, the new one that came out?
I have not.
You might want to react to that because I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that trailer. It's
I mean, I know
it's pretty dicey.
I know in season 1 they brought in Brainiac. Now he looked good, and I think I commented saying, how come a TV version of Brainiac looks way better than what they're doing in the movies?
Oh, wait till you I'm not going to spoil it, but your fans are going to love your reaction to that. I can tell you right now, that trailer, it's going to be great. So
okay. I think I've seen the first 2 episodes of that show, I think.
Yeah. This trailer, you don't have to watch any of it to know what's going on. It's very like you'll know exactly what's happening in the trailer. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I watched it. I was actually going to review it for a while, but the problem was I don't know what it was specifically, but it was a time issue with me. And by the time I was doing my reviews, the other shows were coming on and it was overlapping with my reviews. Cause I kind of don't want to put more than 2 videos out a day. That's kind of my limit. Like I like to do maybe a morning video, maybe an evening video. But when it starts getting to the point where I'm doing like 3 and 4 videos a day, the workload gets really heavy. People don't realize, you guys don't know, like, it's not easy, like filming the videos and then editing them yourself. Like a lot of the bigger YouTubers, they have people, they'll record it and send it to somebody else, and they do all the work.
So it's what Blind Wave does. Blind Wave records their videos, and they send them off to the people editing them down. I mean, when I react to shows night of live, I have to film the whole entire thing and then export the videos over to my computer, which doesn't take long. But then I have to get the episode, and then I have to cut my video and this time start to this time start, then the episode, and I have to make sure it's all synced up.
Yep.
Nightmare.
It is.
That's why when I record with this computer and I can picture in picture as I'm recording, I just cut one video and it's so much easier.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, this is my recording computer that's just for like my videos and stuff like that, because I had everything in one, and then the gaming technology got better and I started upgrading. So I decided, you know what, next time when I get a little extra money, I'm going to get a separate computer for my gaming stuff so I don't have to overlap, because I'm sitting here recording and I can see all my icons for all my games in front of me. And I'm just like, should I record? Should I game? Should I record? Should I game? And so when I come in here and I sit down, it's like work. That's all it is. So that way it keeps it separated for me. But it's the same way with me in terms of like, if I use a lot of, like if I'm doing a trailer reaction, or if I'm using footage for like a theory video or something, anytime you have to render and chop, it's just so annoying. So
I gotta make sure my freaking software doesn't like randomly. I have to keep saving as I'm editing stuff, because it's like it'll just randomly stop working, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta do it all over again. So every time I do a cut, I have to save it.
Yeah,
or else I lose it if the program shuts
I've had the horror of getting all the way to the end of one of my videos and the software crashing or locking up, and I'm just like, oh no.
It always seems to happen when I'm trying to get to the next time, when I'm trying to cut down.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's doing the spinning. And then it crashes.
Yeah. So we got a question. What do we think of the Joker? Do you think the Joker movie will be Oscar worthy? The upcoming Joker movie?
I think they're only saying that because Joaquin Phoenix is playing him.
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, they would not be saying that. It doesn't feel like a Joker movie. It feels like a character piece about someone who's being unhinged, and they turn into madness, which is the Joker. But I don't know, because for me, it's like I openly said this in the video. I'm like, I want a connected movie to the universe. I don't want a separate one-off, which is fine, but I like the connectivity, because they're trying to establish their universe still, and you're giving us a Joker one-off that has no connection. That's an issue for me. But I like the trailer, but I don't think it's now.
Would you be okay, just hypothetically speaking, because I don't know how you feel about Jared Leto, but would you be okay if they just sort of, like, that movie does well, and they just sort of roll it into the Matt Reeves Batman movie, and then roll all of that into the DC movie universe? Do you think that people would accept that? Do you think it would be something that everybody would be okay with? Because I feel like it really depends on how good the Joker movie is, like how the portrayal goes.
I think what it would do is probably make it to where Joaquin Phoenix's Joker inspired Jared Leto's, because the Batman Matt Reeves is set is a prequel thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they could set up to where that Jared Leto gets the inspiration and he actually is the Joker and Joaquin Phoenix is the inspiration.
Because in the comics they've said there's at least 3 different Jokers that have been around.
So they could do that for sure. I think Joaquin Phoenix, he never does sequels. It's like a one-off thing he does. Like that's why he didn't sign up for Doctor Strange, because he just didn't want to do a contract.
Right.
So I just don't see him doing any more after this. I feel like it's gonna be like a one and done. This is his, because people are like saying it'd be perfect if Joaquin Phoenix play Joker. And now they actually have it. Now they're like, well, we have to have more, right? It's like, well, no, but I think it's gonna be good. But I kind of want connectivity. But apparently they used a stunt double for Birds of Prey as Jared Leto's stunt double for something. So
they're balls to the wall with this Jared Leto Joker, I guess.
I guess, but like it's not Jared Leto, it's a stunt double. Dude, Jared Leto's filming Morbius, so
that's such a weird thing. You're in a Marvel property, you're also in a DC property. That's just weird to me. Like
James Gunn just directed. Yeah.
So somebody says, do you think if the DC TV shows continue on for a few more years, do you think they'll bring the actor who plays David Mazouz in Gotham in to play Batman? Probably not.
Nah, he's too young. The Batman they got to bring in for Batwoman or the Arrowverse has to be
a slightly older guy. It has to be.
I'd say in his 40s.
Yeah.
Maybe not as old as Ian Glenn as Batman and Titans, but I mean, I think they're going to bring in Batman eventually in the Arrowverse, but it won't be for a while because they have to establish Batwoman. And if you bring in Batman immediately after her show airs, it's going to negate her. That's why they wait until season 2 to bring Superman in.
Right.
But I don't know. Because I feel like that's going to be a storyline. Him missing is going to be a storyline.
I think that I wouldn't be surprised if the side story of whatever the main story is her looking for Bruce Wayne. Like, I would not be surprised if that's what happens.
I think it's going to be something they might tease at the end of season 1, that they're going to dive into that and try to see where he is. I don't know. I mean,
somebody said it's still hard to believe that Mark Hamill's playing Chucky.
It's kind of strange.
I loved him as the trickster on Flash. I wish they would have kept him as that Earth 3 trickster.
I wanted to see more of that because like that was like old Joker stuff right there.
That whole scene was like very like 1940s, 1950s, like old school, So when I saw that version of the trickster, I'm like, can we have him on Earth 1? Can we just bring him over and let him be a bad guy on Earth 1? That would be great. So see what else here. Krypton season 2 trailer. Yikes. Oh, well, somebody didn't like that. Says Joker movie might be a prequel to the Matt Reeves Batman movie. I mean, I could see them doing that. I mean, I'm excited about the Matt Reeves Batman movie anyway, because we literally know just like this much about it. Like it's hardly anything.
Every other day about what's happening in the movie. We don't know anything.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the casting. Do you think they're going to make a big announcement about it? Or do you think it's going to be like one of those things where it just sort of leaks out and then they have to officially announce it or whatever? I mean, I'm wondering, because Batman's like, that's the character. Like you can literally cast anyone as anybody, but when it comes to Batman, it's like everyone loses their head over it. Like it's so crazy.
I think it's gonna be Comic-Con.
You think so?
I feel like he's already casted. I feel like they've already cast him, and
so you think they're sitting on it right now? That they just haven't told us anything.
I feel like Armie Hammer's chilling, saying all the lies.
Yes.
I mean, they already casted him once in that Just League Portals that didn't go anywhere.
Which actually, the set photos for that look really cool.
I mean, like, I just feel like he deserves another shot. And the fact is that he was the guy that everyone was talking about for a while. Look, it's all spin. Every single time something comes out that's not officially announced, they have to say no. It's happened all the time. I mean, when Kit Harington for Game of Thrones was dead, he said, I'm not coming back.
Right.
Yeah, but he's still doing press for stuff, but it's not Game of Thrones. But he's like, I'm dead. It's like, guys, I'm not coming back. It's over. Jon Snow's dead. All the other actors said, he's dead. And then as soon as episode 2 of season 6 airs, I'm alive. Because he couldn't say a peep. So Armie Hammer is saying, well, the people who could give me the job haven't asked me. Yeah. The thing says you were in.
There's a group of people that want him as Green Lantern, though. They want him as Hal Jordan.
Yeah, everyone was saying that he was going to be Green. He was going to pop as Green Lantern in Justice League. So Warner Brothers is going to use him for what in DC properties. I don't know, but I mean, if he's Batman, great choice.
Yeah.
If he's going to be Green Lantern in the Green Lantern movie, great choice. I don't know. It's all up in the air.
I'm waiting though. Now that you're saying that, you got me excited for this announcement, whatever it's going to be when they announce Batman.
Yeah.
So I says, don't they start filming Batman early next year? Yeah, I believe so.
I think the production was November.
Yeah,
or something.
So they're already they're at least in pre-production by now. I mean, they're doing
like concept art. They already know what they're doing.
Yeah. Somebody says Ben Affleck deserves a solo Batman movie. I would have loved to have seen that, but that's
directed by him. Yeah, they should have. Apparently, his script was so good, and then behind the scenes stuff made it fall apart.
What movie was it that he did like 2 years ago where he played like the assassin / like what was he?
The Accountant.
That was it. The Accountant. I couldn't remember the name of it. That was such a great movie. I love that movie.
They're making a sequel, I think.
Oh, that was like the perfect non-Batman movie. I was like, can we get
with
that?
Guns.
Yeah. What was your thoughts on that about the Batman killing in the Zack Snyder films?
I understood the point of him not being like he's at his wit's end, like he's about to retire, and this whole alien thing makes him rethink things. I understood it, but at the same time, what they did beautifully was that, and for Clark to die, it changed his perspective. It made him go back to how he was before, and actually forming a team, which that is something Bruce would never do. So I'm okay with it just because of how the results ended him being a better person at the end of the day. But it is what it is. I mean, Batman's always been brutal, and we know that a lot of times in the comics and in the video games and stuff, when fights going on, some people are going to die, and it's not intentional, but it just happens.
Yeah, Zack Snyder was at what is the panel? He was doing a
SnyderCon, as they call
it. And he got up and said, "Batman kills, just deal with it," or whatever. And I was like, "Okay, well,
He was just ranting. He lost his mind. The end of that rant was about Darkseid boom tubing into the Batcave to kill Lois. It's like, okay,
yeah. Do you think we'll ever get? Well, because of the fact that he's probably got a bad relationship with Warner Brothers, I would think
he's still a producer on Wonder Woman 84.
I feel like there's something else going because he seems so bitter about what happened with the DC universe with him. I would think that he wasn't, but if he does, I would love to see like a graphic novel of his where it finishes that storyline.
Well, like
Justice League
it was called Director's Cut. It was like his 3 director cut movies being shown Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's a video of him signing, and he says that his film is done. Justice League, his version was complete. There's many cuts in the movie. It's up to Warner Brothers to release it. And then we're hearing all these rumors of Comic-Con, he's going to come out and announce the Snyder Cut. Okay. Then these fanatics, which they want the Snyder Cut.
They want it bad, man. They want it bad. I'm telling you.
So apparently, I don't know how they did this. They got a hold of a Warner Brothers phone number where they can call and get a hold of people at Warner Brothers. They got a hold of apparently the assistant of Walter Hamada, who's running the DC films.
Right.
And apparently these people over at Warner Brothers switched their response to Snyder Cut, like asking about the cut or asking about Zack Snyder's version of the film. It switched from them originally saying we're not it doesn't exist, blah, 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 to we can't talk about that until it's officially released in the trades. And then there's been more discussion where apparently they've asked about announcements, and they said, are we going to be happy with an announcement? And they said yes. So it sounds like they're hinting at a actual announcement, but I don't know how true it is. But there's video of people calling, and you can hear the response, and the woman is like saying, we can't talk about that specific thing until it's released in the trades. It's getting prepped for a release in the trades. I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And there's now a new rumor where Walter Hamada has reached out to Zack Snyder to be at Comic-Con so that they can announce the Snyder Cut to the Hall H.
Tinfoil hats, guys. Put your tinfoil hats on for this one. So.
I look, if they announce it and it's because I think it is.
I'll watch it. If they're going to put it out, I swear I'll watch it. I will. So
if Zack Snyder's at Comic-Con and he's already in that video, you can clearly hear him say that the cut's done. If he's at Comic-Con and he's like, guys, the Snyder Cut's coming, because the rumor is it's going to be in theaters, maybe like a limited run or something, but it's going to come out supposedly. If it's true, I think it's going to change a lot of people's perspectives on the Justice League movie that came out, because this is not what he wanted. Like, you watch that first trailer before, like not the Comic-Con trailer, but the first one they did back in like April of 2017. It is 100% Zack Snyder footage, and when you look at the finished product, it is so vastly different.
Yeah. The trailer footage from Justice League compared to what we got after the Joss Whedon came in, the visuals are completely different. I mean, they don't even look the same. It's not even
they were still using Snyder footage in the marketing, like the Comic-Con, the 4-minute Comic-Con trailer. Like, I would say half or so is still Snyder shots that he had, and it's like you have all this dialogue in it. And you were mentioning the Ezra Miller saving Iris West sequence. All that they're still showing that type of stuff
with him touching the glass and the glass shattering.
The way it breaks through, it's so cool. It's something you'll never see on the Flash show because they just want to be able to pull it off and it would look well. I feel bad because it was spun. Well, his daughter passed away, but then people were saying that it was spin. He was actually fired. I don't know the truth. I think he might have been fired of how he's been responding to all these.
But yeah, you're saying that he's still working with them too. So it's like
still a producer on Wonder Woman 84.
That's crazy.
He's still there. I don't think he's physically been on set, but he is still.
He might have contractually. He may be
under still a contract,
for them for production credits because production credits don't require him to do anything.
Well, he might be still involved with the Wonder Woman, and I don't know if he had any involvement with Aquaman, but I
didn't see his name anywhere on that. So
he hired Gal Gadot for BVS.
Right.
I feel like that has some sort of contractual thing because since her solo movies are coming and happening, that he has credit because he hired her. I don't know.
Somebody goes, thoughts on the 2003 or Brandon says thoughts on the 2003 Hulk film. It's why we won't get any Hulk solo films anymore. No, the reason why we don't get Hulk solo films is because of distribution. I believe
Universal rights.
So we can get Hulk in group movies, but we can't get a solo Hulk movie as long as they hold distribution. So
apparently, there's rumor there might be a Hulk like Disney Plus show, and I don't know. I don't think that would
be so expensive to do, though. I mean, like,
that's true.
Let's see. What do they say here? Rex Road. Do you think Blue Beetle could get his own TV series after Crisis? Well, he has to be introduced first, right? I mean,
yeah. Let's go for a few more minutes because we've been for a lot longer than we planned.
I know we had planned an hour and it's been like 2 hours now. So,
but yeah, Beetle's been rumored for. I mean, they were supposed to get Blue Beetle for season 3 of Arrow, and then they couldn't, so they had to get Ray Palmer.
Right, because apparently the original casting sheet led us to believe it was going to be Blue Beetle, and then they changed it.
So Mark Guggenheim on like the season 3 or was it season 4 panel or season 3 panel of Arrow at Comic-Con was talking about how they went to Warner Brothers, they pitched, they wanted Blue Beetle, and they're like, nope, we have other plans. And like, okay, we gave Ray Palmer. They all right, cool. So Warner Brothers said, no, you can't have Blue Beetle, you can have Ray Palmer.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, well, who are we going to cast? Well, let's cast Superman.
That's so weird that he, like, when he came onto the show, I originally thought that was Superman from the Superman movie that never got another film with him in it.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, what is that about?
It was supposed like 2009 was going to be the sequel. And they had like not announced it, but I think it was like in production.
There were things wrong with that movie, but I don't think it was Brandon Routh at all.
He tried his hardest.
Yeah.
There's even rumors of him being in the Superman suit in the crossover as well.
Yeah. I would love that. Yes, please give me that. That would be freaking awesome. Could you imagine Tom Welling in a Superman suit? Brandon Routh. Yeah. So we got three different Supermen. I would be so okay with that. Throw him in. Throw him in too. Gaming Q says it's been 2 years since Justice League. At this point, I really don't care. Just want them to move forward. Okay.
They have been moving forward. I mean, we get Birds of Prey coming. We got the Suicide Squad. We got the Batman prequel. I mean, we had Aquaman. We got Wonder Woman 84, Joker spinoff or one-off.
And we know they're greenlighting sequel. I'm pretty sure Shazam's going to get a sequel, even if it doesn't make a lot of money.
They brought the writer back from Shazam 1 to do Shazam 2, and they're expecting the director and producers to return as well. So, because they got to fast track that because the kid actors are older.
They've got it. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see them, if we find out that they're filming 2 and 3 pretty close together, so they could get it out there. Because the thing is, they may up their budget a little bit, but Shazam is such an inexpensive property for them.
I feel like what they might do now is because you've seen Shazam, right? You've seen
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, spoiler, if you haven't seen Shazam, I don't know why you're watching the stream. The way they've already did it with the Shazam family, which we kind of figured was coming, but it was kind of rumored. Then like they were debunking it because they didn't want to reveal the spoiler.
Right, because they already cast a lot of the actors that were going to play the older characters.
So I feel like what they're going to do is Shazam 2. they're gonna have probably the core main boys, Billy Batson and I forget his name.
Freeman.
Freeman. They're gonna have them still be a presence, but the other kid actors are probably gonna have a little bit of presence. But they're probably gonna have a lot more scenes with the Shazam family because we've already gotten past that. So like we don't have to like hide that anymore. We can have that in the promos, and so we can still have the kid actors, but we're just gonna have them more Shazam family in the layer, and it's going to be more focused on them as the adult versions because then they don't look like they're older.
And we have the Black Adam movie coming, so we have to put that in between because I think the final Shazam movie is going to be Shazam versus Black Adam. I think is what we're going to get.
Have another headless, faceless cameo of Superman again.
That was funny when I saw that. Me and my brother were like, "What? Like, really?"
Well, apparently Henry Cavill, they never got to shoot with him, but they said it was perfect because they just wanted that quick little response.
You see the suit, and it's his automatically. So
and that's the Justice League suit. They just used it again.
So, guys, we got to wrap it up, but we got a couple quick questions. What's your thoughts on the movie Burn Bright? Looks like an evil Superman. I'm excited about that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the trailer. Yeah. I mean, I wonder how they're going to end it. Like, is he gonna? Because, like, when
does that come out? By the way,
I think in a couple months. I wonder if they're going to set it up to where there's another boy just like him, and that's Superman, but it's like a good version, and like they're setting up a sequel where down the road we're going to see them fight. Like, I don't know, because like it's literally focused.
It can't just be all one bad Superman person because then that would be you can't fight that.
Yeah, because then he's just gonna kill his mom and dad.
Right.
Like, what else? And then he kills some waitress in a trailer. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, it's gotta have something else.
I think it's gonna be good. I'm excited. All right, I guess one last question. Are you looking forward to Dark Phoenix?
Well,
from MT Reactions.
I don't know if you've heard, but I have heard from so many sources the movie's a train wreck, and they have a train wreck in the trailer. Apparently, it's so bad, and reshoots didn't help, and. Like
I saw your reaction to it, so I kind of know what you think. But
Fox was panicking, like they're panicking about it. But Disney, ever since Disney took over, the marketing has been better. But that doesn't fix the movie because Disney's not going to spend any money to reshoot it and help it.
That's a cash cow for them. They don't care anymore. They're
and like, the rumors now, New Mutants, which they had CinemaCon earlier, I think it was last month. At CinemaCon, Disney had like the slate of 2019. They had New Mutants there. The rumor right now that just came out a couple hours ago, New Mutants might be off the slate of 2019. I'm like, it's like, just guys, cut it. Like
I think they're going to drop it on Hulu because they own 51% of Hulu. I think they're just going to put it out on Hulu.
Yeah, it's put on Hulu, but like Dark Phoenix, it doesn't matter what happens, whether the movie's good or bad. Because there's this X-Men film account on Twitter that's like, guys, support Dark Phoenix. It might get a sequel. No, it ain't. No. Like, regardless of how the film is, it doesn't matter because they're going to be in possibly at the end of Phase 4, and that's it. Like Now, I think what they're going to do is they're going to probably bring back some of these actors as different parts, not X-Men, but different parts in the MCU at some point. Because Michael Fassbender is he's such a good actor.
He's good, and he's the best part of in my opinion, the best part of this new X-Men film.
James McAvoy, you got to. I think they deserve parts, but no, they're done. Like, and I feel bad for the actors who came in for this movie. And we're like,
and then you're out. Get out after this.
Yeah. And like the actress who plays Storm now, I forget her name. She tweeted, I think back in
Alexandra Stan, right? Isn't that Alexandra Stan?
Alexandra Shipp.
Yeah,
tweeted in 2017 when the talks were happening between Fox and Disney about this merger, like when it was first starting. She tweeted saying, with laughing emojis, saying, "You guys really think that this merger would means recasting?" I'm like, wow, this tweet did not age well.
No, not at all.
Oh, sorry.
Brightburn comes out May 24th, so it is right around the corner. So that's good.
Right before Endgame. Oh, good luck.
Brett says New Mutants should be part of the MCU. I don't think they're going to do that though. I think it's pretty much. I think they keep pushing it back because it might not even see the light of day at this point. Like they may just say we're not going to put it out because you got to think about it. They've canceled. Gifted is gone now. They canceled Gifted. So if you need any more proof that Marvel is done with the Fox X-Men universe, that is because that show was actually really good. I think so. The fact that they canceled that so easily tells me that they don't care about that universe really. So
they're going to be building their own. I think there's going to be an X-Men related Disney Plus show coming.
I would love it. Just give us a really tiny one to sort of like, open that gate and open the door for it. I would be okay with that.
My friend Logan, who I do the podcast with and some videos, he mentioned this out of nowhere. He's like, dude, Alpha Flight. I'm like, holy crap.
Sasquatch, bring on Puck, bring on a freaking.
My brain was like spinning. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm
give
like,
me Vindicator, give me all those characters. I'll take all of them.
All they gotta do is the first X-Men movie, have Wolverine just talk to Alpha Flight for like 2 minutes, and then after the opening weekend, Alpha Flight Disney Plus show. And now
that would be awesome.
That'd be great.
The first Canadian superhero team that we'd see on live action, which would be kind of cool. So, all right. Well, I thank you for having me around. I appreciate it, man. We could do it again. Absolutely. Now that we know how to do it. Now that I know how to do it.
Thank you guys for stopping by. This is great. This is actually our first time actually talking face to face. So, this is actually really cool. We were just tweeting back and forth. So like, this is pretty cool to actually hit it off right away and just chit chat about all this crap. But yeah, this was fun. It really was.
Yeah. Whenever you want to do it again, let me know. We could do it on my channel too. Now that I know how to do this, we could do it over there. So, so thank you so much, guys, and thank you again for having me.
No problem. Bye, guys. Bye.